Okay, guys, welcome. Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you guys can hear me. And happy Thursday evening, almost Friday. Day I'm always looking forward to. Hi, Kevin. How are you doing? Hi, Yarn and Mittens. Welcome, guys. And thank you, Yarn and Mittens, for everything. And Kevin's pretty awesome, too. I've got a lot of thanks to Kevin as well. Hi, Karen. How are you doing? Thanks for being here. Let's see. Oh gosh, K-pop dummy. I'm going to go over I'm going to talk about the video that is going to be released tomorrow by Adventures with Purpose for everybody to see. Today it came out as a members only video and it is really intense. It's you're going to know exactly what I'm going for, a word that I can't even find. When you do watch the video, if you haven't yet, it's breathtaking. It's amazing. Hi, Midge. How are you doing? Welcome. Hi, Mia. How's it going? Welcome. So glad you're here. Hi, Donna. Thanks for being here. Hi, Hochi Winner. How are you doing? Nice to see you. Nancy N. I'm so glad you're here. Nancy and I were just texting about this video and in this case because she just said she hadn't known too much about it, didn't know much about adventures or anything, if much or anything about. Whoop, no, don't close. Hold up, just one sec. No, okay. About adventures with a purpose is what I'm trying to say here. So I told her if there's one thing you do tomorrow, essentially, you've got to watch the video. So where? Okay. Sorry, I just lost streamer on my screen here. I just want to get you guys back so I don't accidentally close down on you. Okay. No, just go to it, please. All right. No, don't open another one. StreamYard be nuts, man. Okay. All right. There we go. I'm good. I'm back to you. So I'm going to go over, what was discussed in the video that was released as a members only version by Adventures with a Purpose. And Yarn and Mittens or another moderator, could you put Adventures with a Purpose? Could you please put their link in chat this evening? I want the only link in chat to be Adventures with a Purpose. So all proceeds from this live stream, and I'm probably going to do anything that has to do with Kylie Rodni. Yes. Proceeds are going to revenue, super chats, super thanks, whatever, all those gimmicks YouTube puts into its program. All of those proceeds are going to go directly to Adventures with a Purpose. And you also can just donate to them directly. You can become a member on their channel. They have merch. There's a number of ways to support this amazing cause. And I promise you, if you do not know about this group, after you watch tomorrow's video or maybe today's live and, maybe a few other things, you're going to want to get behind them 100%. There is some controversy surrounding these guys because there's always controversy, right? But they are good people doing good things. And, I think however we can support them to help families of victims, it's often a mystery to the family. There's a great deal of pain and sorrow and all kinds of just terrible feelings when you don't know where your loved one has gone. So these guys have recovered 24 bodies, all in water, using their equipment and diving. And I'm going to go into that more later. Let's watch this first. It's just a few minutes long. This was the initial press release that Adventures with a Purpose put out right after they found Kylie Rodni, after she had been missing for 12 days. And we'll also go into the details of how much money and manpower was behind that search effort to no avail when her car was found right off the lake shore in only 14 feet of water.
Searching for and finding Kylie Rodni. Anything within this video may be used by any news agency or outlet within their own news reporting. This is only an announcement and briefing. Fully edited episodes will be released soon, so please be patient. We have found Kiely Rodni's vehicle and have confirmed that there were remains inside.
An official identification of the remains will be made and announced by authorities once their investigations are complete. Please understand and respect this is a highly active investigation by the FBI and multiple local sheriff's departments, and we are limited to the scope of details we can release.
We began our search for Kiely at Prosser Creek Reservoir on August 21st at 10:40 a.m. We placed 2 sonar boats in the water. By 11:15 a.m., Nick detected an object underwater using cutting-edge Garmin sonar technology. I was able to then confirm that it was, in fact, a vehicle in roughly 14 feet of water and only 55 feet offshore. After marking the vehicle with our magnet, Nick suited up in his dive gear and conducted the dive to formally identify and assess the vehicle, with me running OTS comms topside. Once we confirmed it was indeed Kiely's vehicle, we immediately notified family, law enforcement, and Dad and Grandpa were on scene within minutes. Please refer to our episodes for complete search investigation that we conducted. These episodes will be released very soon. Again, this takes time to edit. We will need to put these together in an appropriate way in order to respect law enforcement as well as the family. Those should be out, I would estimate, probably within the next week or so. The Placer County Sheriff's Department, Nevada County Sheriff's Department, the entire Placer County Sheriff's dive team.
Oops, sorry about that.
Has been incredible to work with. We understand that the resource we provide with our unique skill set is rare, and it is an honor to help agencies and families all across the nation. We will be working together with authorities here to share this knowledge over the next couple of days. It is always our mission to promote and share the techniques we utilize so that our purpose can help as many people as possible.
We'd like to thank all of our supporters. We can't thank all of you enough for your donations and putting us in this position as we continue to grow and help more families. Simply watching our episodes, liking, sharing, subscribing, and following our social media platforms enables us to do what we do. So thank you all for putting us in this position.
Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It helps us help families, and it's free. It's free to subscribe. Additionally, we would like to acknowledge the incredible support from law enforcement agencies across the FBI. Hand in hand with them, with the upcoming cases of Jalissa Fuentes in Selma, California, and also Annette Adams in San Obispo, California, coming up later this week. At this time, I'd like to thank our entire team for making this happen. It's not just me. It's not just Nick. There's an entire team of us that are out here. We collectively go through these cases, these investigations, and it takes a team to do so. I'd like to bring you guys on camera at the moment and thank the entire team that made this entire trip possible. Carson, Cade, Kevin, Josh Cantu, Devin. This is our entire team. Like I said, it's not me. It's not Nick. You know, it takes an entire village, including you guys, that put us in this position to do this. And it's an honor, because without your support, we would not be able to do what we do. So thank you guys. Thank you guys as a team. We appreciate all your hard work on the road. It's not easy. You know, we travel across the entire nation, day after day, state after state, city after city, helping family after family and agency after agency. And it's a lot of hard work when we're out here and we're trying to do something that hasn't been done before. And thankfully, we're in the position to do so because of you guys and all of you at home.
Thanks, guys.
We will be taking the next 2 days to properly debrief, decompress, and prepare for our next case, which is 22-year-old Jalissa Fuentes in Selma, California.
Please keep the Rodni family in your thoughts and prayers as we are. Hug your loved ones a little tighter and take the time to take time, as we never know when it will be our last opportunity to do so. I hope, as tragic as this outcome turned out to be, that this will carry on so that we are able to help the next family like we did here. Thank you.
At this point, we mentioned earlier, you guys are free to use anything that we've shown in this video in your own news reporting. We'd also like you guys to take consideration that we are fielding a lot of requests for interviews. We will process them as we do get to them. Again, we thank all of you for putting us in this position. It wouldn't be possible without you. I know we say that enough, but at the end of the day, we're just normal guys put in the position by you. Without your support, well, you know, none of this would be possible. So thank you. I think maybe we have a few questions that are coming in right now. If we can field those from Jared, who's on there. We can add a few bit more information on this before we end it.
Hi, everybody who's just coming in. Welcome. There's just about 2 minutes left of this initial press release from Adventures with a Purpose. And then we are going to go into all of the new revelations.
Give me a second, guys. Please be patient.
Mental health, emotionally trying.
You know, I'm always focusing on our team and our mental state, our emotional state. This is Nick's first soft case that he's been a part of. Devin, as well as Kevin, and we focus on the positive. As tragic as this is, you know, I always drill home to these guys to focus on what we're doing. We're providing answers for families. We're helping law enforcement close cases. That's a positive thing. We can't allow ourselves as professionals as we become to get caught up in some of the other things that aren't going to benefit us to get caught up in. So we're focusing in maintaining our mental focus on the positive aspects of what it is that we do, which is providing answers. Again, please, I'd like to encourage each and every one of you, if you have not done so already, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's free. Any more questions? Again, this is servicing as a press release debrief. This is not a fully edited episode. Again, we could not release a lot of the details right away due to the climate surrounding this case. It is an ongoing, active investigation by the FBI, Placer County Sheriff's Department, and Nevada County Sheriff's Department. Please respect that they have to do their job. They have a lot of work to do, and the official identification of Kiely will come in the next few days, I'm sure. That will be made from the medical examiner. Please keep the Kiely family, Kiely Rodni's family, in your hearts, in your prayers. This is a healing time for them. Please respect that. Send them all the good vibes that you can. They need this in this moment.
All right, guys. So as I said, that was the initial press release that was put out by Adventures with Purpose. Oh, let's see. Okay, so what they're showing here. All right, let me go back just a little bit. So, you know, what they're showing here was shown in the 47-minute video that they released to members only today, and they're going to be releasing to everybody tomorrow. And they were showing little glimpses of how the sonar technology that they use works. They stated during some of their news appearances, and also in the video that was released today and or tomorrow, depending if you're a member of the channel or not, that they use the same technology as law enforcement. Because a lot of people have said, wow, like what was going on? You guys must use like something, you know, something really special. Do you have specially designed instruments and, you know, state of the art? No, they use the same thing as law enforcement. In fact, let's get into that. All right, let me just stop this video here. So welcome everyone that's just come in. Oh my gosh. Whoops. Pride or honesty. Hi, I was just thinking about you today. How are you doing? Let's see. You know what? Actually, I'm going to keep playing a bit of this. Hold it. Just one second. How's it going, Pride or honesty? Great to see you. Hi, Jody is cool. How are you? Great to see you too, honey. And DC Primetime. Awesome to see you too. Let's see. So you know what I'm going to play? Okay. So as I told you guys, the 47-minute full-length edited video, as Doug said, I'm going to show you some little slides with everybody's names so you can keep straight as we start to talk about things. The fully edited video either came out today. If you're a member of Adventures with a Purpose, which I suggest you do, it's $5 for a membership, and it's such a great cause to support. If you're not a member of the channel, then that video will be coming out for you to view tomorrow. So I'm not going to show any part or audio of that video. It's very important that they get, in the way that they choose, all of the revenue that they can possibly get through their efforts. But I am going to show you what was put out yesterday or the day before, which is the preview. So it's a 2-minute preview just to give you a little sample of what's coming up. And, I suggest you can go, and for the moderators that are here, if anyone just came in. So in chat tonight, the only link I want to put in chat is for Adventures with a Purpose. So all of the revenue from any Kiely Rondi video, live chat, or edited video on this channel, super chats, whatever it may be, is going to go directly to Adventures with a Purpose. And, I also suggest you go check them out yourself if you're not familiar with them. They rely on donations from the public, from the viewers, from their supporters in order to operate. As you can imagine, their operating costs are pretty high. Let's see. This is the preview. Yes.
A mother is missing her 16-year-old daughter.
Yeah, tomorrow marks 2 weeks since the Truckee teenager disappeared after attending a party at a campground.
She was either hungover or just had a really rough day. She looked distressed.
When do you think that this took place? Parked his van right here, facing that direction. Her vehicle was parked right over here. I have set a radius of 10 miles around Prosser Creek Reservoir. We're going to work hard to clear Stampede, Independence, Boca, and Prosser Creek, all within that 10-mile range. I've just located in the corner of this cove here a target that I cannot identify. 18 different agencies, over 19,000 man-hours have been put into this. I'm a firm believer in second chances. However, some things don't deserve forgiveness. Taking the life of a 16-year-old deserves zero forgiveness.
You see that?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense though. It's only 10 feet of water. We definitely have something man-made. If this is her, this means all hope is lost as far as her still being out there, her being found safe.
What would you want to say to Kiely tonight?
I love her so much. So many people love her. And we're all looking and we're trying so hard. And I'm so sorry we haven't found you yet, but we're not giving up and just hang in there, sweetie. Just find her soon. Bring me home.
I don't want to find her. I want to be able to clear all this water and be able to tell the family she's not here. She's not here. Our job is to be here to find the where.
Confirm. I see the vehicle and the license plate. We have just found Kiely's vehicle. Over.
Oh. Okay, so that was a preview for. Whoop! Oh no Chris Watts right now. No Chris Watts right now. This is good though. Justice will not be served until those who are unaffected are as outraged as those who are. Benjamin Franklin. I included that quote in a project I did, a senior project when I was a senior in high school, and I have thought about that quote, quoted that quote, and I believe in that quote since I first heard it. So yeah, it's important stuff. All right. So let's see. Hi, Edward. How are you doing? Talking. Let's see. What is Pride? So Pride Around Us, he says, that line about taking the life of a 16-year-old would never be put in without direction from law enforcement. Too risky of an assumption. This was all law enforcement trying to make someone panic, and it's brilliant. You know, was it law enforcement making someone try to panic, or, and I think that's very possible, right? I think that's definitely a possibility. Or was it the group Adventures with Purpose? Thank you, Scott. I've been going back and forth between saying Adventures with Purpose or with a Purpose, and he just said it's with purpose. So thank you. Or is it Adventures with a Purpose giving law enforcement a nudge because nothing has been happening? No information has been released since, except for the information that Adventures with Purpose released. And as you're going to find out if you don't know yet, the diver who recovered Kylie Rodni's remains explained what he saw to his partner Doug when he came out of the water. Oh my gosh, can you imagine being him? And then he said, it looks suspicious to me immediately. He said just a few words, a couple sentences once he came up out of the water, and that was one of them. In fact, I have the quotes from him right here. Give me just 1 second. I'm going to bring something into the stream. Let's see. And file from Google Slides. Welcome, everybody. Welcome if you just came in. Hi, T. Andrews. Did I say hello to you already? I saw you, but I wasn't sure if I said your name out loud. So T. Andrews says or asks, why do you think this case got cut to front of line when I'm sure other families have been waiting for Adventures with Purpose on a wait list? Just odd. You know, I mean, had you heard that? Do you know that to be true? Like that there is a wait list? Yeah, I mean, that is a good question. I don't know if there's a wait list. I mean, they have recovered 24 bodies of people that had passed, all in water. I believe all in vehicles. I don't know that for sure. If I'm wrong, go ahead and correct me. I'm happy to be corrected. And yeah, I mean, so I don't know. I don't know about that. I'm going to have to look into that, T. Andrews. It's a good question, though. Let's see. All right, I'm just going to do it this way. So, all right. So I'll share that. And welcome everyone that's just coming in. Thank you for being here. I need to make that full screen. Okay, so obviously this is, of course, the Kylie Rodni case. And let's just take a look at a few things that are going on here. Just pictures of Kylie, beautiful young girl. She was 16 years old. She disappeared on August 5th of this past year, just this August. And guys, guess what? Her 17th birthday is today. Oh my gosh. So this is what's going on. Doug addressed this in the video after they got to a spot in the lake where they believed that they saw an object at the bottom of the lake. They were really surprised because they noted that the lake was very shallow and it was 300 yards from the location of the party that Kylie Rodni attended on that Friday evening that had, they say, 200 to 300 youths there, and some really strange things ended up occurring at the party. She was supposed to go home. She sent her mom a text. No, her mom told her, to wake her up when she got home. I don't want to go there yet. So this was what was going on before Adventures with Purpose arrived on the scene. So T. Andrews, this might be part of the answer as to why they got there so quickly. I don't know, but that is a good question. If anyone in chat knows any answers to T. Andrews' question, please let us know. So there were 18 agencies and over 300 people searching. Foots on the ground, bodies diving into the water, drones and helicopters in the air. They were doing everything, pulling out all the stops, as they do oftentimes when there's a young person missing. But they put in a total of 19,000 man hours. 19,000 man hours split between 18 agencies and 300 people searching on the ground or in the water or in the air. And still, after 12 days, they did not find this young woman who was eventually located in only 14 feet of water, just hundreds of yards from the location that she was last seen at and last known to be. Additionally, right where her cell phone last pinged at 12:30 a.m., midnight and 30 a.m., the evening of that party. And then after that, no more activity from the phone. So regarding Adventures with Purpose, these are just pictures of the people who they recovered through their work, which again is all funded through their supporters, through their viewers, through their YouTube subscribers and members. So please support Adventures with Cause if you feel moved to do so. It's a great cause. If somebody can put the link in chat periodically, that would be amazing. So this is Doug and Nick. So these are the two guys that are the main players in Adventures with Purpose that we're going to be talking about. So Doug is a founder and Nick is one of the newer members of the team. Doug was training him to become a lead diver for, they're going to have two teams out there, all the better, helping more families, finding more people, closing more cases for law enforcement. This is what they're trying to do, grow their service, right? So Nick is the gentleman who actually found Kiely. It was his first recovery dive, and he found her. All right. So let's see. All right, now we're going to start talking about where things are going to start to get a little weird. So let me just see if there's any questions or comments in chat before we move into that weird territory. Hi, Utternutter. How are you, sweetheart? Thank you for being here. She's one of our wonderful moderators. And bye, Hochi Winner. Thanks for stopping by. I always love seeing you. Oh, geez. Scott knows a lot about this. Okay. So this isn't the Watts case that I know everything inside out, backwards, forwards, fact, checked it. Thank you, Scott. I'm just going to read this out loud. And again, guys, if I am saying something, if I'm misstating something, I don't mind if you correct me. If you know what you're talking about. If you just don't agree with me or you think you know what you're talking about, you can just psh. But if I misstate something or if I'm just wrong and let me know. It's all good. So Scott says, at What's the Obsession, Doug isn't a founder. Doug was a tow truck operator that's helped. Okay. Jared. I'm sorry, Jared. Jared's team. Okay. Jared's team extract large objects. He did it for free. Okay, cool. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that, Scott. Scott's been really helpful tonight. Where'd you come from, Scott? You should be here all the time. I like it. Let's see. Hi, Pippi Longstocking 2020. How are you doing? Let me just see what you guys are talking about here. And thank you very much to Yarn and Mittens. Yarn and Mittens helped me, just get some information together on this case. And she's just awesome, and I really appreciate it. Let's see. What Pippi, the one where he was teasing to throw. Okay, can't follow what you guys are talking about in chat, but I want to catch on. So, oh yeah, okay, all right. Pippi Longstocking says this is a good one. Do we have a date and timestamp of Kylie and the full length dress, the black dress, you mean, right? I saw a video of her and Jagger that he filmed and obviously posted, I think, without her knowledge, allegedly, and it was sad. It was taken around graduation day. So I know the video you're talking about. Let me pull that up. Actually, I got that video. Give me 1 second. So, I don't, I go, you know what? I might misstate it. So I don't want to say unless I know, just like I do with the Watts case or any other case. I don't want to say unless I know. And I don't know for sure, but we can definitely find that out. So wait, let's see. Okay. All right, where'd that little video go? Gosh. All these poor people. Gosh, she had her whole life ahead of her. So there was a lot of shade and suspicion around Kylie's boyfriend, Jagger. So particularly in the days before Kylie was found, you know, he was putting out TikTok videos and, you know, really responding to, and I kind of don't blame him. I mean, people were talking about him being involved, him doing something terrible to her. And, you know, probably for many people, this is your personality. Your impulse is to respond, but he was responding in such a way that it made people suspicious of him, more suspicious of him. Let me get this here. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Oh, okay, here we are. Here we go, Pippi Longstocking. So let's try to find the date and timestamp for this too, okay? This is what you're speaking about. See you guys in a minute. Okay, here's the video. Bring it into the stream. All right, here we go. I believe this is the video Pippi Longstocking was talking about. Let me know if I'm right, and we'll watch it.
You? Yeah. Oh, no. No, 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 no. You couldn't throw me at that angle. Doubting me? Yes.
This is just another short time.
I'm gonna kick you in the dick with my heels.
Yeah, that's like a weird one. Wow. I didn't watch that all the way through. What's going on here at the end? I was looking for another video. Huh. So, that is a little strange, right? But I guess, we don't know what exactly he was doing with that video. It's like, what are our questions here? Was he making a video for her, to commemorate their senior year? Or was he doing something pervy? Because she had like, 1,000-mile long legs in that dress. Woo. And whoops, beautiful girl. So we don't know why he was doing that, but it certainly could be weird, right? Let's see. Let me get into the other chat here. How were they able to find Kylie's car when no one else could find? Yeah, how were they able to find Kylie's car when no one else could find it? That is one of the big questions. Yeah, Tony, and hi, Tony. How are you? Welcome, sweetie. They found the car so quick. Isn't that amazing? So here, let me go back to, I'm going to go back to this little PowerPoint that I made you because I want to explain to you exactly how that happened. So I don't know your level of familiar. If you want to put in chat, if you think you're familiar with most of the details, can you put a 1 in chat for me? And if you're like, I really don't know a lot of details at all, or I just really don't know anything, can you put a 2? Just approximate, just so I know kind of what level we should be talking at here. So if I can skip over some of the basic stuff to move you guys a little further into the story, I'm happy to do that. Let's see. Hi, Lee RD. How are you? Lee RD. I'm going to be following up on your theory, Lee RD. Lee RD was in the live chat the other day, and she came up on panel. We were talking about the Chris Watts case, and I don't know, Nancy, have you heard this? I'd like to know what you think about this, Nancy. Well, actually, I think I know what you're going to think. But, Nicole Kessinger, who is Chris Watts' mistress at the time when he murdered his pregnant wife and 2 little girls, Bella and Celeste, many people think that she was involved to some level. I think most of you are familiar with the case. There's a lot of reasons why. Let me tell you. I can tell you. I have this channel called Watts the Obsession. So nobody has seen her since this crime occurred over 4 years ago. And we do know that she changed her name, and that's about it. Now, how hard is it to simply, fall off the grid these days with all of the technology and cameras everywhere, except apparently none of them work in Colorado. So maybe she's in Colorado still. It's nearly impossible. So Lee's theory is that she is in fact in federal prison, that law enforcement was more suspicious of her than we realized. And they actually were smarter than we believed them to be. And there were charges that put her in one of those nice, comfy resort federal prisons. And there she will stay for a few years, like Rapunzel is what I'm thinking of for some reason, with a ponytail. Her ponytail will just keep growing for a few years until they don't have enough room for her ponytail. I'm just kidding. And then she will, leave. She'll have a new identity. She'll have qualified for witness protection, and she'll have a few bucks in her pocket because that's how federal cases sometimes work, right, Lee RD? So I thought that was pretty interesting. So I've followed up. I've done some research on some of the things you mentioned, and we will have follow-up. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, the girl she got in a fight with at the party. Okay, this is all good stuff. Okay, so let's just move along in this here. Okay, so what happened was Jared and Nick went to a Best Buy before they started, actively doing their searches. They were just kind of scoping out the area, setting the perimeter, surveilling what they were dealing with. And when they went to Best Buy, this is kind of weird. I really wish I could show you the video, but I'm definitely not going to do that because this is all Adventures with Purpose. And if you haven't seen it yet, you'll see it tomorrow. Please definitely watch it. So I don't want to take any of their thunder. They ran into this guy who's also named Nick. So let's see. Nick. Yes, he's also Nick. All right. So this guy right here. And what they say in the video is that he approached them at a Best Buy and he explained that he's been a supporter, a follower of theirs for a long time. And this is what he told them. So if you haven't heard this yet, get ready, listen carefully, and take notes because this is crazy. He said that, so what he does is he works for a towing company and he is dispatched on roadside service calls. So he was dispatched to a location, which was right near Prosser Lake, but it was at a Boca Lake, which is just it's right in that same area, right next to. I'll pull a map up in a little bit. It's to service Rodni's car. So he shows up, and the scene that he describes, guys, is so bizarre. He says, you know what? Let me bring up the transcript real quick because I want to quote this dude because this is crazy. And you know, when I had heard about what he said, guys, before I actually watched the whole video, I was like, no way. No way, man. That's too wild. This guy must be full of it. What does he want? Whoops. Does he want attention? Does he want, I don't know. He said he's like a follower of these guys. Is he just want attention from them? Whatever the case may be, that causes people to do crazy things when there are serious, sensitive, and important issues involved, like a missing young girl. So anyway, I thought he was totally sus. After watching the video today, I have completely changed my mind. Yarn and Mittens, I know you watched the video. I'd like to know what you think. Did you believe Nick, Yarn and Mittens? Let's see here. Yeah, I found him to be totally credible. Oops. In the video, they show him speaking with Jared and Nick from Adventures with Purpose for like a few minutes, and you really get to see their interaction. So for some of you that I don't know if some of the people are new in chat, and I'm so glad you guys are here. I don't know if you watch the channel a lot, but I'm a behavioral specialist. So, and I work primarily with people with, well, no, it's not. I work a lot with people with autism, but also people who do not have autism with behavioral situations that are able to be improved upon. So I was watching him very carefully. In fact, I watched them talking, I think 4 times because I really wanted to pick up on every tiny little nonverbal that I could possibly observe. I didn't sense or observe anything suspicious or like off in what dude was saying, except for one thing. He said that well, here, let me get the transcript up. I want to give you his exact words. Being the fan of accuracy and facts as I am, let's not leave anything to chance. All right. Load all. Oh, I wonder if it's not. See, I wonder, maybe I can't get the transcript because it's members only. I'm going to give her a try though. My 13-year-old son, has a friend over. I don't know if you can hear him like giggling in the background. They're giggling like little girls. They must be talking about girls. That's what 13-year-old boys do, right? Let's see. I know what I can do. I'll put closed captioning on and just go to that part in the video without pulling it into the stream. That'll work. Okay. All right. Okay, guys. So this is what Nick says to Doug and Nick from Adventures with Purpose, who they just happened to run into. This is so wild. It just really blows my mind. They happened to run into at a Best Buy before they even actively begin their search. Now, he is going to be telling us that Kiely was seen the day after the party at 11 a.m. with a guy in her car that she called for roadside assistance to service because apparently her car broke down, right? So here are the details that Nick gave. So Doug introduces him as one of their longtime supporter and fans and says that he possibly has some information. So Nick explains, I work at an emergency roadside assistance program. Let's see. I got a call up in Truckee. Oops, moving too fast for me. Hold it. I got a call up in Truckee, Boca, for a battery. So pretty much that means that the vehicle can't start, is what he says. So I went en route up there, found the vehicle, and at the time, he says, I didn't realize that this was a situation. So it seems like as he's explaining this, guys, like in retrospect, and you're going to know exactly why when we explain this whole thing here in a moment, he's like, oh my God, I should have picked up on that. Now, hindsight is 20/20, and it's easy to, judge a situation from afar. But man, guys, okay, all right. Judge for yourself. Okay, he says, I realize it was a situation until a bit later on. So Doug is just like, okay, so you went to Boca, so you're over at Boca Lake, the one near Prosser Lake, just north of Prosser Lake. So he's just confirming back everything he says. He says, yeah, first when I first went there, I realized after my test that everything was working great in the vehicle. There was no reason that it should have broken down. That point in time, he says, I did notice that she was very hesitant and very skeptical on everything that was going on. So his words are hesitant and skeptical. She was asking me really weird questions in the sense of how do you put your seatbelt on correctly? Okay, so she calls for roadside assistance, says her car's broken down. This guy, Nick, arrives at the scene to help Kiely, thinking that she needs a jump or a new battery or, some problem with the car. He finds that the vehicle's in great condition and there was really nothing wrong with it. So he says she seems very hesitant and, weird about her, suspicious about her surroundings. Suspicious was his word, and hesitant. And then she's asking him how to use the seatbelt. Okay, listen to this. I'm going to quote him again. And then she asked me to show her how to connect the seatbelt to the actual buckle. Okay, so she asked this dude, how do I buckle my seatbelt? He obviously tells her, shows her. And then she asks a more specific question regarding how to fasten her seatbelt. Oops. Okay, and then after that, he says, she was starting on how she was there all night and she couldn't get her vehicle started due to the fact that now, as we both realize, it was in neutral. Okay, so Kiely Rodni apparently calls for roadside assistance, this guy, Nick, shows up. By the way, it's the day after the party at Prosser Lake at 11 a.m. So on that Saturday, after she already hadn't gone home that night and her mom was alerted and her friends were alerted and they were meeting at a Starbucks that Saturday morning to try to group together their efforts to go figure out what's going on with Kylie. Where's Kylie, right? So this guy, Nick, gets there. There's no problem with the car. In fact, he says it's in great shape. He characterizes Kylie as looking hesitant and suspicious. After he's like, your car's fine. She asks how to fasten her seatbelt. He shows her, he explains. She asks a more specific question on how to fasten your seatbelt. And then they realized the problem was that the car was in neutral. Like, you don't put your foot on the gas and pull it into drive like every other time you start a car. This is very strange, guys. So then he goes on to say even more. He says, let's see. She was where, oh, wait, hold it. Is that what? Didn't know she was hesitant. She asked me to show her seatbelt. Okay. Okay, so they realize it's neutral. Okay, so this is him again. He says she was wearing a sweatshirt, so it looked like she had been there for quite a while. Then Doug asked the color of the sweatshirt, and he responds that it was gray. And he says it was light gray. And then Nick reveals, and there was a guy there. Okay. And he says, get this, guys, he was wearing a black San Francisco hat, flat top ball cap, facing forward. So I'm actually going to show you this. This is just a still shot from the video, just showing you what Nick says the guy that was with Kylie Rodni was wearing on his head. Hi, Lula. Hi, Jenny. How are you doing? And everyone else that's just joined. Hi, Lisa K. How are you doing? Welcome. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. Okay. Okay, so this is a hat. All right. So, all right, let me go on. Here's the hat. Everyone soak it up because I'm going to go back to the stream. So he says he's wearing a San Francisco black ball cap, flat top ball cap, he says, facing forward. So that's a very specific description. Now, when I was watching him, of the 4 times I watched him this evening, and trying to evaluate his level of truthfulness, I did take into consideration the fact that he is including a great amount of detail in what he does remember, now that this was like 2 weeks ago, right? Or at this point, 12 days. I'm not sure. It was between 12 days and 2 weeks at the point. Then he spoke with, oh no, it'd have to be less than 12 days. It was at the most 12 days, maybe 11 days. There we go. That's the right timing. He remembers a great bit of detail. But still, as I said, I personally found him to be credible. And obviously, Doug and Nick from Adventures with Purpose did too, or they would not be featuring him in the video that they put out. That their production team obviously put a lot of time and effort into it. It's an amazing video. In fact, I heard Plunder describe it as exquisite. I don't want to take her word, but it's a good one. Oops. Okay, here. Let's see. Oh, Jong, did I? Let's see. All right, hold it. I just got to get back. Okay, no, we're good. Okay. So then he says he had brown hair sticking out of the sides, but just a little bit on the sides. It was okay. So then he goes on to describe the interaction between Kiely and this dude that was with her the day after the party, Saturday morning around 11 a.m. He says it was kind of like they were both kind of, oh no, not with the likes, please, at unease. That's what it looked like for me. As if either they had a crazy night or a crazy day or there's something going on. I couldn't know at the time, says Nick. I didn't realize what was going on. But other than that, he was, a thinner built guy is the best way I could put it, with a bro tank, and it was a white bro tank. So that's like a wife beater, some people call it, right? Bro tank. He also had some freckles on his face, or maybe it was acne or whatnot, but it was on both sides of his face. So he was remembering this as being freckles, but he says it might be acne. He was also, okay, so he says he's a little bit shorter than him, and he describes himself as being 6'3". Let's see. I'm just getting to. So he just says it was 11 o'clock. It was between 11 and noon when I got out to her. And during that period of time, after that period, I told her that I was going to go. And hey, I hope you have a great day. As for the vehicle, I told her to keep it running for a couple hours to obviously make sure everything's working good on the vehicle, charging that system and whatnot. At that point in time, then I left. This guy has a weird, his speech pattern's weird. And then a week later is when I saw at a coffee shop that she was gone. And he saw it on a flyer in a coffee shop. And then he says, then everything spiraled out of control. So he responds, he gets dispatched to a roadside assistance call. It's Kiely Rodni. The day after the party at Prosser Lake, that Saturday morning between 11 and 12, he arrives on scene. He does a test of her car, finds out the car, in his words, was in perfect condition. So then she starts to ask him really weird questions like, how do I buckle my seatbelt? And she asks it a few times. He says they identified the problem was that her car was in neutral, which is so weird, that there was a guy with her who was wearing a flat top, black San Francisco ball cap facing forwards with some brown hair sticking out the sides. And he had acne or freckles on both sides of his face. And a week later, he sees the missing persons poster and realizes, oh my God, that is the girl that I assisted when I was dispatched to her in her car at Boca Lake, which is right next to Prosser Lake. And it was like a really weird situation, as I just described. So he says more. Listen to this. He says everything spiraled out of control, and I got in contact with the detective and tried to do everything I could. And then I saw you guys, and now we know. And then he says, and now we know we probably have Boca in our sights. So Boca is actually where they started the search, Boca Lake, because of what this dude says. But it was already on his radar, Doug says. So he's saying all the calls go through dispatch. So I'm sure that they got some information from that. He says he called to tell Kiely he was coming, and his call went right to voicemail. And now the guy also says that Kiely did state that her phone was dead. She was using the phone of the guy that she was with to call for roadside assistance. So he reiterates, he goes back, and now he's saying she was asking funny questions and she was acting really weird. Granted, at the time, I didn't realize that again. And then, Doug kind of cuts him off because he can tell that he's feeling guilty because she was acting weird and maybe she picked up on something. So they're chalking it up to, okay, I'm trying to get to a certain statement. It's coming right up here. So Nick says she kept on going over that. Like, how do you secure your seatbelt? Firmly. How do I do it correctly? How do I secure my seatbelt? How do I fasten it into the buckle? How do I fasten it firmly? How do I fasten it correctly? Okay. So Kylie Rodni was asking this guy about fastening her seatbelt in like 5 different which ways angles. Come on, people. It's like, or the guy, everybody knows that if you can sit in a car, you can fasten your seatbelt unless you have a physical limitation that doesn't allow you to, but still, you know how to do it. So in my opinion, she was clearly trying to solicit help from him, like a wink, wink. And I think he didn't pick up on it. If this is true, because this is all an alleged story. So then Doug asks, whoops, let me go back. I'm reading the closed caption because I can't download my transcript. Okay, so then Nick, the other Nick from Adventures with Cause says, so when she was asking you this, was the other guy sitting there too? And Nick says, yeah, he was on the opposite side of the car. So he could, yes, hear the conversation. Now he says this, every single time the guy would come over to us, she would go on the other side of the car. And it was just back and forth, like a tag team. Every time he would go to the other side of the car, she would come over to the side by me and vice versa. If one was in front of the car, the other would be behind. Gosh. They were never close to each other. She was so uncomfortable, he says. Yeah. So, that's like the really weird part of it. Now, so he shows them the location and let's see. So he's describing exactly how her vehicle was parked and how it was relative to hers. Now, they ask you, like, when was this? And he says it was either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. He just couldn't remember. So he had to look up in his phone where he'd been. He'd been there both Saturday and Sunday. And so he called his girlfriend and told her, about this interaction because he found it to be so weird. And it was actually the girlfriend that was able to tell him, like, oh yeah, honey, it was on Saturday. So that's when he was able to isolate the day that this all occurred on. And he knew that it was Saturday. He knew it was between the hours of 11 a.m. and noon because it was a roadside assistance call. He was working. He had some concept of time, and there's also a record of the call. So that is very, very strange, don't you think? Let's see. I want to see what you guys are saying in chat. Yeah, Midge. Mitch says there's something about that seatbelt thing. Yeah, I mean, I really strongly feel that if this did happen, because this is, of course, all alleged, the way he's describing it, it's that, how I know in some sort of self-defense classes that I've taken or that, have been offered, the people I work with, one thing they'll tell you, especially is, I was doing some work at a residential home. I was part of this like workshop series, and there was a self-defense person there. So these girls, these young women, girls all live together. So the person was explaining to them that they need to have some sort of a signal if, somebody is, if you feel threatened and somebody is there and you're afraid, if you say out loud, "Oh my God, help me. This person is effing terrifying," like that they're going to hurt you and or the other people there, that you need to have some kind of a signal so you can still communicate without words to one another that you're in danger, right? So this is very much what that exchange that Nick described reminded me of. Let's see. So Scott says, let's see what you guys are saying. Hi, Green Eyes. Welcome. How are you doing? So Scott says, my opinion is since a week after Kylie went missing, he went to the authorities, and on week 2, he told AWP, my thoughts are that they already have the video and call info. Oh, I bet they do. Yeah, I'm sure that they do. Okay, so when you factor all of this in, the guys from AWP running into this Nick dude and him telling them this really crazy story, and then knowing that at some level, at some point in time, this information had to be transmitted to the authorities. Now, remember, when they talked to him and when they recorded themselves talking to him, which is part of the edited video that they just put out. Excuse me. I have really bad allergies right now. I'm sorry. I keep coughing stuff. It was before she was found. She was found 12 days right after no, that's not right. Gosh, I have to get my timeline right. Let's see. I have it written down somewhere. I need notes. It's not like the Watts case. I need notes. I can't remember all the details. So, but anyway, there's been some time that's passed since this dude talked to the AWP guys. Of course, law enforcement knows certainly by now. They probably knew before, and none of this information was ever known by anyone other than this guy, I guess. Yes, Midge. Midge asked, so is everyone suggesting there's foul play? Yes. Let me continue through my little slideshow here. So it's just another picture of Nick talking to these guys. And, I said it once, I'll say it again. What he said was kind of strange. He's not a man I'd want to be my man after he witnessed what he witnessed with Kylie Rodni being so uncomfortable. And he knew she was uncomfortable and just, he doesn't even say, gosh, I really was like thinking like, what can I do? Should I do something? Do I need to move into action here? He was just like, oh, look, really uncomfortable woman. She must be intimidated by that guy. Anyway, no. You can't do that. You need to do something. You need to feel out the situation, determine if you need to take further steps to protect a person's safety, right? So that's just Doug on the boat. All right, so this is Doug and Nick with Kylie Rodni's father and grandfather. Oh, all right. So I'm going to do this first. Okay. So when they finally found the vehicle, again, it was Nick's first dive of this sort. He was the bald guy who found the vehicle with Kylie in the vehicle. So he comes up, he's obviously distraught, kind of just like, scuba diving can make you a little breathless, but oh my God, can you imagine the adrenaline? Oh, that man must have been he's a father himself. Imagine the heartbreak, So when he finally gathers his wits about him, this is all he says while he's still in the water. He looks up at Doug and says, she's in the back of the seat. Oops, I should have an S there, obviously. She is not in the driver's seat. It looks suspicious to me. She's in the back of the vehicle. She's not in the driver's seat. It looks suspicious to me. He goes on to say, the vehicle is upside down. One window is halfway down. And that was the one that was the back seat, driver's side. One window is all the way down. And then he says, call the authorities. Okay. Now we have the picture here of these guys with Kylie's dad and her grandpa. Oh. So at some point, the grandpa says, and they were asking about how the car was found, just the obvious smart questions you'd ask, right? He says, and the windows are closed probably. And Doug says, one window is down. And then Nick clarifies, one was all the way down, one was halfway down. And then the dad said, is she seatbelted in? Nick says no. And the dad kind of looks at him and elevates his tone and then says, is she in the driver's seat? And Nick is like, no, she's in the rear of the vehicle. And then he just kind of like looks up and puts his hand, he obviously at that moment, if you have watched this video that AWP put out, or if you haven't watched it yet and you're not a member, please become a member and support them, or watch it tomorrow, supporting them just by watching the videos. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. And in that moment, to me, it was clear that foul play was on all of their minds. Hi, Double R. How are you doing? Welcome. It's great to see you. Yeah, DC says, good question. Back meaning the hatchback boot area. So from everything that I've heard, and you guys tell me what it is you've heard or what you think, since obviously there's not any photos or anything to go by. Yeah, it does seem like that. Yeah. Let's see. I totally understand, Green Eyes. So DC, okay, so this is certainly one of the possibilities. So, I mean, obviously at this point with what was found, foul play is a possibility. Now, I don't want to sensationalize this or dramatize it or add anything to the facts that aren't there. I mean, this poor girl and her family, we definitely do not want to do that. The reaction of the people who are, well, basically everybody, but the people who are professionals, and who have experienced these situations before, their reaction of being suspicion, personally, I'm speaking for myself, added to my suspicion. But the other possibility, or another possibility, there might be several possibilities, right? DC Primetime says, meaning she probably tried to escape. So yeah, so I was doing a little researching, just meaning Googling around for the purposes of trying to figure out myself if that was a reasonable explanation for why she was in the back seat. So, apparently when a car does sink, it's going to, because the engine is so heavy, the front end of it is going to sink towards the bottom, whatever the bottom may be first. So the back end will start to rise up. So your last pocket of air is going to be in that like hatchback area. Yes. Yep. Yeah. Green Eye says windows rolled down in the back is super suspicious. Yeah. And one of the front windows, it wasn't all the way down. It was broken. So, was somebody trying to break it from inside? They have those like punch things. My grandfather, when he was alive, God bless his soul, always would like get me one. If like he saw my car didn't have one, he'd kind of like get mad at me and then go get me one little gadget where, if you're ever submerged in water in your car, you pop it on the window and you kind of like, you sort of like hit this little thing. It pops the window. It breaks the window so you can get out. Let's see. Hi, Johnny Smith. Welcome. Johnny Smith. Hi, John McSmith. How are you doing? Great to see you. Let's see. So Mitch says, DC, that was always my feeling. that the window was down and the water pushed her to the back seat. So what does everyone think about that? So let's talk about that a little bit. And let me know if anybody would like to come up and talk about what you think about this. Yarn and Mittens, would you like to come up? I'd be happy to hear from you guys. See, I really want to know what you guys think. So Scott says, who seems very, very knowledgeable about this case, says, from the video they showed, the dive, you see everything, including the windows. Yeah. Yeah. In the video that was put out today and or tomorrow, depending on your membership status with this group, you know, before they do show video of underwater, there is a statement that comes up on the screen that says, let's see, let me play it here. I can't find the little slice of video where it says that, but anyway, it gives you a warning of what's up and that you want to use discretion when viewing it, right? And it does show a lot. Now, something that they also showed was what a lot of people were saying was an alcoholic beverage or a beer can in one of the windows. So, you know, Yarn and Mittens and I were talking about this earlier and thinking that was really weird because I don't know. What do we know? We're just speculating, right? But by all accounts, Kylie Rodni was a conscientious young girl, and it just was my speculating opinion of her that she would be too conscientious to, you know, have an open, well, I don't know. Is there an open container law in that state? I haven't even looked that up. Was it in Colorado? I don't know. I was in a state once where there was an open container law like there is here in New York. And my boyfriend at the time was like drinking a beer. He wasn't driving, but somebody else was. And I was like, it was bugging me out. It's like, you're going to get everyone in trouble. It's like, that's not a big deal here. See here. I'm going to put the link in. I'm going to put the link to come up on panel in chat. There you go. Ta-da. So if you do want to come up, just go ahead and pop that link. Well, I'm just going to open this up. Okay, so Pippi Longstocking says the alcoholic beverage was like a wine cooler. Okay, very good. So I didn't get a chance to. I watched like a few parts of that video a few times, like what this guy, Nick, the roadside assistance dispatch dude, said to the AWP group. But I didn't get to like inspect every little moment of it because I started watching it really late last night when they first put it up. It was like 1 a.m. I fell asleep a couple of minutes into it, and then I worked all day today. Hi, Liam. How are you doing? Nice to see you. Welcome. I know I probably said your name funny. I'm sorry. Hi, Tracy Wheeler. Welcome. Yeah, Tracy Wheeler says she was only 16, and Tracy today is her 17th birthday. Oh, September 1st. Oh, yeah. Okay. So Scott, you're in upstate New York. So ATS News, I'm sorry, is, I think I know where she lives. I don't want to say it out loud. Are you willing to say the area that you live in? I mean, I can't because as a watch channel creator, I have people that hate me out there. And I've had things happen already. That's cool. Yeah, I'm here. I sit in upstate New York. Interested to know where you are. Yeah. So, and Scott also points out that having cans in her car isn't that big of a deal. Right. They were at a party after all. Yeah, I agree. Who knows? Yeah, they were at a camping ground having a, a teenage drinking party with what they say was 200 to 300 people. Who knows? Somebody could have been sitting in their car and drinking, and who knows? Now, something else that comes out in this video is that it was reported. Oh, John McSmith is going to come up here. I'm going to get to you in a minute, honey. I'm bringing you up. It was reported that a big fight broke out at that party she was at, the teen party at Prosser Creek or Prosser Lake. And then, the person he heard this from was saying something like, and all of a sudden there was all of these, car headlights. And then there were all of these cars coming and fleeing. I never got any degree of clarity on what that was all about. If any of you understood more, please do let me know. And that things just got, things reached a crescendo in a really sinister way. And Kiely specifically got in a fight with another girl who is named, but they didn't say her name out loud because they're professionals. So that happened too. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so Albany area. Yeah, Albany's about 2 hours for me. I'm closer to Binghamton. Let's go there. Oh, you're in Illinois, Green Eyes. Very good. Oh, hi, John. How are you doing, honey? What's up?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you, Kelly?
I'm good. Here, let me get my headphones back on so I can hear your wonderful voice. Yeah. So have you been following this case?
Just a little bit, not a whole bunch.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to tell you was this whole driving in the water thing. I'm not sure how uncommon that is, because it's been within the last maybe 2 or 3 years, maybe 4 years ago, in the town I used to live in.
Okay.
A girl is about the same age. She's 16 or 17 years old. Yeah. They were at a party. They were drinking. As I recall, she ended up, she had a car, so she ran everybody home.
Okay.
And then she had been drinking, and when she was driving home by herself, you have to go across a dam, and she drove right off the dam right into the water.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, that is an important factor. She's 16 years old. She's a new driver. We all know, you get in some situations where you need that level of experience. I know I had my son in the car. It was, I don't know, in the past 6 months or something, we were driving to see my mom. It was pouring rain to the point where we're like, wow, we should have really stayed there. It was hard for me to get us home. We had his friend too. I was like, nobody talk. I kept yelling at him because it was really stressful, because I was hydroplaning so severely. I kept losing control of my car. And
that is so scary.
It was. And I was explaining to them, kind of what happens when you hydroplane, and them being 13, and they think they know it all, that when you do start driving, remember how scary it was when the car started to spin. You know what I mean? You got to really know how to handle situations, and if you don't, please don't get into them. So yeah. Right. I mean,
but here's the thing: when it was on a weekend and it was late at night when she was going home,
right?
Much like this other girl, but the thing is, there had been a guy, some old man was down by the dam fishing that night, like one of these all-night guys fishing for catfish or something.
Right.
And if he hadn't have been there, well, she would have just vanished into thin air.
Right.
But it was fortunate that he was there and saw it happen, because he was the only one. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. Oh, you're talking about the girl the other girl. Okay, I got you. Yeah. Okay, right. Yeah. So she would have been, one of those people that like AWP may have gone to recover someday. Yeah. Okay. I get ya.
Yeah, they never would have thought that this girl
Right.
just drove off the dam like she did.
Right.
They
Right.
would have thought, well, her car's gone, she's gone. What happened here? And they'd be looking everywhere.
Right.
And it was just fortunate that and it didn't happen with this other girl, but I suspect she was hammered drunk and got lost or thought she was on a different road or something. And like I said, I don't know too much about the case.
Right. Right.
But I think
Yeah.
she just drove in the water because it happens. And but not only are they new drivers, like you said, but they're new drinkers too.
Right. Very good point. Absolutely. Hi, DC Primetime. How are ya?
Hi. Yeah,
Hi.
I tend to agree with John. That was my first thought too, especially thinking.
Yeah, mine too.
Originally, that she was just driving home and it was pitch black and she made a wrong turn and just drove right off the boat ramp,
Right, right.
But now all this information coming out with the AWP video, and I did watch it twice. I didn't watch it 4 times, but I did watch it twice.
No, I didn't watch the whole thing 4 times. I just watched the part where the new guy, Nick, was telling them what happened because I really wanted to try to, like hone in on any observable signs of deception that he was showing. And I didn't see any. Did you? Did you believe him?
I did believe him.
Yeah.
He was loping along and like answering directly and
Exactly.
seemed to be looking them in the eye when he was talking.
Exactly.
And if he didn't know the answer, he would just be like, I'm not sure. It could have been this day or this day or this day, instead of saying, no, it was definitely Saturday. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. And those are all the things I did observe that, are signs of somebody just being candid. Right. So, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
It's not unlikely that somebody saw their RV rolling up with their big old Adventure with Purpose trailer at a Best Buy. I mean, everybody kind of knew they were going to be in the area, so I mean,
true. Well, no,
I just
okay,
hope
go ahead.
I just hope that law enforcement is all over it. We can only hope at this point, but I hope that they're taking it seriously and like listening and checking out all the details and verifying these people's information. But one thing that I did kind of notice about Nick, the roadside assistant guy, is he was describing Kylie's ex-boyfriend Jagger. And it's like, well, yeah, we all saw him in the interview with that SF hat. So I don't know. It was a little bit on the nose for me.
Right. So yeah, let's actually take a look at that. Go ahead and talk amongst yourselves, John, my friend, and DC, my friend. I'm gonna grab that video real quick.
Well, there was somebody on a chat on a different creator's channel when this whole thing first happened.
Uh-huh.
And I was just watching the chat one day, and somebody said they better go check that water. And that was the first time I ever heard. And whoever, I wish I could remember who that was, because they said you better check that water, and that's ended up where she was.
Huh.
And
well, I know that they had cleared it, right? They cleared Prosser Lake, and they were like, basically, no need to look here, right?
Yeah, and in fact, Doug from AWP, when he starts out, in the video, he says, okay, we're going to go to Boca Lake first because, they ran into that guy at the Best Buy and he gave them all of those tips about responding to, Kylie's car on that Saturday. And he said, I feel very confident that, law enforcement did a thorough check of Prosser Lake. And, I feel like he said, of course, we're going to check it anyway, because that's our motto or our, commitment, that it's not cleared until we clear it for themselves, But yeah, he even felt really confident about it because it was a shallow lake. Law enforcement had 18 agencies, over 300 boots on the ground or fins in the water, and that accumulated to 19,000 hours of manpower.
19,000?
Yes. Amazing. They didn't find it, right? What's up with that?
That's
gives
you an idea how much something like that costs.
Oh my God. Oh yeah. Heck yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now let's watch this. Oh God, this is So this is what DC Primetime is saying about Nick's description of the guy that he saw with Kylie being too on the nose. Remember, he specifically said a flat top black San Francisco ball cap with brown hair, just little, sticking out of the sides. Here, let me make this bigger. Oh, no thanks. And
Yeah, these people that come forward like this, they're always, you know.
yeah, I know. I'm confused though, because man, I just he seemed very honest. So I'm gonna great, awesome. I'm gonna bring Scott Dubois up on panel as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna
So,
drop out. I'm gonna drop back into the chat, okay?
All right, thanks, John. It was great seeing you. Take care, my friend.
Great talk to you.
All right,
Bye.
bye. Hi, Scott. How are you doing?
Good. I just wanted to bring up something that not many people know about.
Yeah, please do. And thank you so much for all of the accurate information. I really appreciate it.
It is not a problem. So instead of saying the creator's name, I'm not going to, but on another creator's channel after the video went live, and of course Ryan Upchurch was on there as well. Jared had made an appearance, and he added to the Nick situation. So right after Nick left that stop, he made a phone call to his girlfriend to talk about how awkward the whole thing was. Now, when Adventures with Purpose spoke to her, she verified she knows it was the 6th at 11 a.m. strictly because it was her father's birthday.
It was her father's birthday. That's right. I had heard that. Yeah.
So that was the day that the police received the phone call from mom at 8 a.m. They didn't even start actioning it until late in the afternoon because they said, why don't you call the friends and stuff like that and see if she's
and then she met him at Starbucks and
So the theory that's jumping around from everybody right now is Kylie didn't die the night at 12:33. Whoever was with her took her phone, shut it down after she texted her mom. They demanded or forced her or influenced her to drive all the way around outside to Boca, where she must have somehow stopped and said, I need to use the bathroom, something like that. And then when she got back in the car, she put the car in neutral. And she's like, the car won't go. The car won't go. So after sitting there all night, the guy she was with finally was just like, this is the theory. This isn't factual. He must have said, use my phone, because that's how she called the AAA service that sent Nick's tow truck company. So when he got there, he said, I tried calling you. And she goes, my phone's dead.
Yeah.
But remember what he said. Everything worked fine. Totally fine. He was able to turn it on. It was just in neutral. So how is her phone dead if the vehicle had power? These were all hints that I feel personally she was dropping, like, I need help. I desperately need help. But let's say the guy had a gun.
Exactly.
She doesn't want him to get shot. So it doesn't mean Kylie was killed that night at 12:33 and she went in the water. There's a good chance that whoever had her took her. They parked the car somewhere, just covered it with branches, because you being in New York, you know how easy it is to conceal anything you want by just throwing tree limbs on it.
Absolutely.
It could have been
like stop signs.
The car could have been dumped any time after the police successfully searched that area, is why they didn't find the vehicle. So that's the theory that everybody's throwing around now.
I have not even thought that deep into it. Thank you very much. Yeah.
And not only that, the CRVs, if you look up how they drive on sand, and I know a lot of people have made videos, but they're going on Jeeps, they're going in SUVs, they're going on all-terrain vehicles. Hers is a CRV. They specifically say
real quick. CRV, is that back wheel drive?
Hers was an all-wheel drive, AWD.
Okay.
So ultimately, when they say, is it safe to go on sand? I first thought of this when they pulled her car, because I had a Jetta and an Escort in the past. You had to air your tires. The reason you have to air your tires is they're so thin, you'll get stuck in mud and sand. But if you air your tires, let it out so it's less air, you gain more traction.
Get more traction,
Right. And that also means you're going to dig in the sand, which is why when you look at the area, there should have been car imprints. If the car flipped going in to break the passenger window, there should have been a side swipe, a skid, but there was nothing like that. So maybe the police did their job, but she wasn't in the water yet.
a skid in the tire tracks, or you mean like a
On the
skid
sand.
on the top of the vehicle?
Just on the sand. Look at the sand right before. If you look, you'll see the water levels, and you can see, remember when they said they lost 3 foot of water? You can see the water deterioration, the levels of the sand markings. When you look at the wrong side, there is no tire tracks. There's no skid marks. There's nothing, which means in order to have that happen, you put the vehicle, I'm not saying from personal experience, I'm just saying if you put the vehicle in neutral and a bigger vehicle like a truck pushes it in, you just put a tarp behind the truck, drive away, and it drags the sand to cover the tracks.
Right. That's a good point. But okay.
And real quick.
Okay,
Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Nope, go ahead. No,
I just want to ask Scott a question because he seems like the expert at the moment.
Yeah, totally.
Did they say in the video on AWP that they found her on Sunday, if I'm not mistaken, and the last search of the reservoir by law enforcement was on the previous Wednesday? Is that correct, or am I remembering that wrong?
No, I think it was either the Wednesday or Tuesday. But here's the thing about Boca. When AWP Doug did the very first release that they were going there to search, he said, we're going to start searching 25 minutes away at this other lake because the authorities gave us some information that the public doesn't know about. So when you hear that, you're like, wait, so it wasn't Nick. Then you think about it and they go, after they searched and they found nothing, they said, we have successfully cleared this lake. We were told that there were other parties at this lake at that time. So they were sent 25 minutes away. And then the police said, don't worry about Prosser. We already cleared it. So go 25 minutes in the other direction to the other lake. AWP decided, no, that's not how we work. We go to one point and then we work our way back. And that's when they found her.
Wow.
So they did. Oh, I'm sorry, Kelly. Go ahead.
So why do you think that law enforcement advised them to go search an area that was 25 minutes away from the place that she was last seen, where her last cell phone activity was, et cetera, et cetera? Do you think that there's some kind of like misconduct or foul play? Or
no, not at all. Think about the timeline. So a week after she went missing, Nick came forward and said, wait, I helped a girl on that day at that area. So a week afterwards, that happened. They immediately went, and I guarantee you they got subpoenas. If you have the FBI, CHP, which is California Highway Patrol, and the local police and search parties requesting that information, they're going to get it within days. So they already knew about that location. And a week after that is when AWP contacted them and said, hey, we're coming to help with the search. So, of course, they got the information and said, hey, Boca makes more sense.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, wow.
But it kind of seems like from the video, though, that based on the tip from Nick, the roadside assistance guy, that the last known sighting was in Boca, right? And
right, 11 a.m.
That's why they conducted the search there first.
Yeah.
Coupled with the local law enforcement clearing Prosser Lake, correct?
The local law enforcement was clearing Prosser for a whole week. So if you really think about that, it could mean Kiely might have been just not, she might have been killed shortly after that night, but left hidden somewhere until they could dump the car later, which would explain why the police didn't find her.
Now, don't you think that's something that would be determined in an autopsy?
It would. And I think that's how you know that there's foul play involved, because all they did was they released the autopsy saying, yes, it is Kiely. And honestly, the amount of time she was in the water, they could have seen that by her physical features. But to me, there might have been some sort of decay. And this is just my speculation. There might have been decay because she was hidden somewhere for a while before they dumped the car. And that's why they had to go in and have an autopsy. Now, let's say that didn't happen. There was no decay. If they find water in the lungs, that doesn't mean she drowned because she drove in. It could be she was unconscious. She was knocked unconscious. And it's hard to tell those certain things, because if it was the car tumbling, she could have hit her head. But if somebody clubbed her and put her in the car, it might still look that way. It's just they'll look at angles of the attack. I mean, I'm quite sure everybody's watched a bunch of CSI programs, real ones, not the fake ones. So you know how they approach it.
Oh, yeah.
But the way that it looks, if the police and the search parties did do their job, that means she didn't crash in the water. She was put there. And of course, if you look at the beach, there's no evidence that there was any sort of car crash or a car went in the water, or they would have been like, uh-oh, a car went in the water, let's go search.
Mm-hmm.
They live there. Think about your area.
Right.
If you know your area, you know how people crash their cars. You have people that are drunk that crash all the time, and you're like, oh, look, those trees, they've been hit by a vehicle. There might be a car in the water.
Right.
That's not what they saw. So they searched it just to put everybody's mind at ease, and then they broadened their search when they didn't find her, which tells me she wasn't there to begin with. She was put there.
Well, here's the problem, though. I mean, if you look at the aerial footage from all the drones, you can see something car size right where her car was found. Like, how did they miss that?
Wasn't that SF Investigates, though? And that was a week after the searches had begun. So remember, that was a whole week span. He didn't go there the day after it happened. He had gone there 5 days or 6 days later. She could have been put in the water sometime after the divers went in and looked.
So she was found on Sunday, this past Sunday, which was, I don't know. I'm bad with dates. But
I'll pull up my calendar. I don't have the date to memory. Just
sorry.
here. That's okay. No, it's right here. So this past Sunday was the 24th. So I'm looking at September. No, it wasn't.
It was a week before that, right?
It was.
It took a week for the autopsy to clear that it was Kiely, so it had to be about
So it was the 20th.
Right.
Yeah.
So the whole thing about the drone footage, a lot of people see things that aren't really there, and unless they can specifically pinpoint with a broad image and then shrink it down just to see it, you may see it. People see things all the time, and it's not factual. Just like the Google image, everybody keeps pointing that out. Those images are taken 6 months ago, a year ago. There's no way they could say that's Kiely.
Yeah,
they're not done every day.
Agree with that.
Right. And they have special vehicles that have the 360 view, the panoramic, so that they go to these areas, take specific pictures, and then drive taking video. So when people are like, I don't want to say it, but another creator was like, I found proof on this Google map. Well, they also see sharks that are the size of like Italy on the Google map. Those sharks don't exist.
Well, we have to, we have to take that
wait, guys, just one
big grain of
DC,
salt,
just
right?
1 second. I'm gonna go grab a bottle of water. I'm gonna be gone for like 45 seconds. Please continue. I just want to let you know.
Okay, we'll try not to cover anything too pivotal.
Now, just to throw this out there, I'm not looking at chat, so if people are making fun of me or something, I don't see it. So
no, I'm not. I don't have chat up either. One of my children commandeered my laptop, so I can't see it in StreamYard. But
again, all of this is speculation. That's all it is. It's all speculation, because even the police, when this is solved, may not release all the details.
Well, my question is regarding the water temperature. Do you have any indication if it was like specifically cold in that lake at that time, or does it kind of?
I didn't check any of that because it was such a fresh case. The way people were talking, the water goes from chilly to warm. I think AWP said the lake at Boca was pretty chilly. I think they mentioned it in one of them. But normally lakes and everything, especially if they're spring fed, they're pretty cool. So ultimately, it's the only downfall about her car being in the water. And there's a lot of arguments and debates about it. And I can tell you from somebody I personally know, like he's my cousin, if evidence goes into the water, and any good forensic expert will say this is a good forensic expert, not even a great one. The moment something goes in the water, it destroys all chance of them having exact evidence.
Like as far as the timeline.
A lot of people say, no, fingerprints can last 14 days. That's not true at all. And here's my personal experience. My cousin, he was a safe cracker for the mob many, many years ago. He was one of the best, never got caught. The guy never wore gloves, just stole the safes, broke them open, threw them in the river. All of his tools went in the river. Never got caught. The guy who trained him, the mobster, I guess you would call him, he got caught because, you know, when you get older, you make mistakes. Well, he got caught. And since they used the same MO, he just said, I could tell you who's doing all these robberies, and pinned it on my cousin, which my cousin, you know, if you work for the mob, you don't turn them in. He just said, I'm guilty, put me in jail. But he was never caught. And all he did was steal anything he wants and dump everything in the river, because fingerprints, they dissolve so fast. Even if somebody saw him throw the safe in the river and they pulled it out, they wouldn't have gotten his fingerprints. And it's happened like multiple times. He watched them pull the safe. He went up to them and said, you guys fishing? And they're like, no, somebody dumped something and we think it's criminal. And he's like, whoa. And he watched them pull a safe that he just manhandled himself, and they couldn't find any sort of evidence. So when people are like, yeah, fingerprints can be pulled 14 days from now. No, it's not always the case. There's so many determining factors when it goes in the water that evidence, forensic people, they just hate it.
Sorry. Wow. What do you think about that, DC? DC?
She's muted.
Oh, okay. Are you still there? I don't know if she's there. Okay.
She's muted, I think. So.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, there you go. That's okay.
So my question was basically with regards to the state of the body. I know that like cooler water temperatures will tend to slow the decomposition phase down, but I also know that water is going to, you know, cause like, and I don't want to be graphic, but bloating.
Yeah, I was just going to say bloating.
Yeah.
So,
well, let's see. Okay. All right. I'm going to speak for a minute. So, you know, I think that is true sometimes. So, I'm just thinking of
Scott, because he's the panel expert at the moment.
Yeah,
I'm not an expert. It's all speculation. I just have covered tons of cases, like just personally. And that's why I started a channel, and it'll be live in like 4 months.
All right, so let me just speak to the water issue. So you're throwing it to him, but I'm gonna intercept for a minute. So all of the cases that I am aware of where there was a body that was submerged in water, this is one of the things I was going to look deeper into earlier before we were talking about this tonight, but there's only so many things you can look at in a few hours.
Agreed.
But what I found, and other cases I know of, there was this one case that the condition of the body in different bodies of water, considering the different variables and elemental conditions and everything that influences, you know, the process of decomposition, there was a range of conditions that the bodies were recovered or found in. One example is there was a plane that crashed into a lake. There was a man and woman in the plane. The man escaped. Like, the theory was possibly that this happened on purpose. It was a small plane that he crashed it, but he had what he needed or knew what he needed to know to be able to get out of the plane and survive because he wanted a new life. His wife, who was in the plane, you know, obviously perished. It was years later when they found her, and because she was submerged in this water, she was found in like the person who found her said she looked like a porcelain doll.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, you know, that's just what I wanted to throw in there.
Right. There was another case where a woman murdered her husband as well. They were out on a boat. She murdered her husband, crashed the boat, and then said, you know, he went overboard and I couldn't help him. She was eventually charged with murder, but when they found his body, they couldn't do much. They had body parts, but you know, the wildlife took care of it and the weather.
And then, you know, there's like Lacey Peterson, but in the case of the woman inside of the plane, she was inside of the plane and there wasn't like anything that was broke. Like, there wasn't like, you know, like, life, I don't know, things. She was preserved partly because she was inside of the plane.
Right,
But
right.
anyway, yes, we know the windows were broken, but still, even outside of that example, I just think it's a complex question personally. But
Well, you remember when you watch the video when he went down there, there was a lot of algae in the water. You could see it like on the video. That's going to be detrimental to a lot of the evidence. Not
right.
And here's the thing. They'll know if she was assaulted. They'll know that. There's ways that they see that by bruising on the interior. So if she was assaulted and they mention that, well, obviously it was a forced, thing.
Right.
But right now they're not releasing any information, and the time frame that it's taking to do everything, especially with the FBI involved, tells you there has to be foul play. The FBI would run those tests instantly. They've done it with countless cases in the past. Look how fast they lied about Brian Laundrie.
Right,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to throw it out there like that, but
no, well, it's true.
I mean, think about the logic. How many people are found in the swamps that were in there for 3 to 4 months and they were still almost partial, like half the body was still there?
Right.
And these are alligator swamps where alligators are ripping and tearing at them, and they still find enough body parts to tell who they are, but yet they only find a skull and a few bones for Brian Laundrie in 2 weeks.
Right.
Come on.
Right.
Well, I'm from Florida, so I can kind of speak to that as far as the heat and everything, and basically being in the swamp. Of course, the water levels, especially in the rainy season, are going to rise, and there's going to be more wildlife and stuff like that. And
well, think of Kaylee Anthony. That was in Florida and similar conditions, and they found her skull and a few bones, but that was a long time after.
Right. It was a really long time. But think about this.
Several months after, yeah.
You're in Florida, so you probably watched the coverage of Brian Laundrie, right?
I was in Florida during Kaylee Anthony. I'm not anymore, but I did follow.
She's in Texas.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I'm in Texas, still hot, but not as not
with
as
the
wet.
Brian Laundrie situation. Think about this. So the moment that they found out he was gone, supposedly it was only a few days to a week. They go out there, they start searching. They're going all over, all-terrain vehicles, drones, everything, and they said, "Oh, it was the swamp creature." So you're going to tell me that all their canines, all of their people on foot, all their people looking from the air did not see a smorgasbord feast of animals chowing down on his body? No.
Well,
I
guess
it's
in the wrong part of the preserve, honestly.
No, they were right there, because remember when the parents came, it was right where they were searching. They took a little bridge, walked off, looked in a bush and went, "Hey, I found his backpack.
Right.
I did it. I'm the champion." And then they're like, "Well, why don't you guys leave?" "Oh, we found a body." It was like instant. We found this. We found this. And oh, guess what? 2 days later, it's Brian. We checked with dental records and DNA. So the FBI, they have the means to do that. So right now, it's been over a week and they didn't come out and say, "Hey, there's a problem. We found this with Kylie. We found this." They're keeping their mouths shut. And I think personally, they're waiting for the person to hear bits and pieces of information for them to make a mistake, because they don't have real solid evidence yet. They want them to make a mistake, run, hide, get rid of something.
Well, here's a couple of things. I mean, if we believe the Nick roadside assistance guy, he said that there is audio and video recording on his vehicle. Like, hopefully they would have confiscated that and then, given him a lineup or a photo lineup or something and said, is one of these pictures the gentleman that was with Kylie that day, and they were able to make that determination. And then another thing, now that Kelly brought up the whole plane crash thing, I'm thinking of the black box. Is it true that these 2013 Honda CR-Vs have a black box that kind of records information, or is that like a big YouTube myth?
That's a big YouTube myth.
Well, here's the thing. Another thing about Jared's conversation. At first, he says that the company that Nick worked for locked it down and nobody has the information. But towards the end of the interview, he says, and this is probably about 30 minutes in, and if you guys really want to know who it was, just say, and I'll tell you what channel, because they have a snippet of just Jared. So
it was that girl.
It was Zav Girl. So
yeah. Oh yeah, we love Zav. Yeah, everyone go watch on Zav. We love Zav Girl. Yeah.
After he said they have it on lockdown and nobody knows, he then said, "Well, on the video, it's been verified the man has been verified.
Yeah, they
so that
identified
they know who he was.
the man.
So he lied, but then he accidentally spilled the beans at the same time. So he said in the beginning, nobody's seen the video. It's on lockdown, and I think
How
the
could it
police
be
are
on
trying to get
lockdown?
it.
Oh, how could it be on lockdown? I mean, they could certainly compel them to give it to. It's a
All they
matter
have
of a
to
warrant.
do
Yeah.
is
the
during
police,
the
police don't
interview.
release they don't release all the information.
Yeah,
I said
but
that in your
Adventures
chat.
with Purpose
Right.
could
Of
have
course they don't.
been interviewing Nick, the tow truck guy, and said, "Hey, what about this guy with the San Francisco hat? Is this the guy?" And he could have been like, "Yeah."
But those are hints. If you think about it, the guy didn't come out and go, "Yeah, it looks like her boyfriend." He gave descriptions. It looks like a guy similar to her boyfriend. He just gave a description.
Similar.
Right.
Now,
so
don't you think this guy, okay, just so let me ask some questions here. So don't you think that this guy, Nick, who responded to help Kylie to my car is broken down, roadside assistance call, after he realized that the girl that he helped that day was the girl who was missing, and there's posters all over this place, and oh my gosh, this is national news, and talking about it with my girlfriend, and he said from there everything spiraled out of control. Don't you think he would have been like on like the internet enough to see what Kylie's boyfriend looked like? And so if so, he must have understood when describing that hat, especially, that he was describing a feature that Jagger like always has going on. So then why would he give those specific descriptors to AWP, knowing exactly what he was describing without calling it what it was, without just being candid about it? Does that make any sense?
Here's why.
Okay.
So anybody who watches AWP, I've been watching Jared since he was just cleaning water. So he was diving and pulling out bottles and cleaning up the environment. Then he went.
This
go ahead.
guy, the boyfriend, he's an adult, right? So we can.
No. You mean Jagger?
Jagger?
Yeah,
he's
Jagger.
a kid.
Yeah, he's her. Yeah,
he's 17.
He's not.
He's a minor, right?
Okay,
right.
Got it.
So when Jared first started off, he was just collecting bottles and cleaning up the water. Then he moved to going around looking for bigger salvageable items, because if you pull a car out, you could sell the metal. Right. And it was not as fruitous as he would like it to have been. And then they encountered their first missing persons case, and they went and looked for a few of them, didn't find them, but then they actually solved one. Then it became Adventures with Purpose. Right. Adventures with Purpose, even from the beginning, would release their videos 2 to 3 days after they did whatever they did. Right. That's as simple as it got.
Right.
With this case, they
waited.
There's a reason.
He even said in the press release, that's one of the reasons I played in the beginning. He said, or maybe it was in one of I think maybe it was in the Today Show interview. I can't remember which. I'll find it though. He says, oh yeah, we'll probably put a video out in a couple of days, and probably another video out like a day or so after that, something to that nature. So, everyone's sitting around waiting for these videos, and it took an extraordinary long time for them. Yeah.
Honestly,
well, they already made the videos. They've made 3 videos.
Right.
So the first video they weren't going to release because the police haven't finished their investigation. However, once people started speaking out against them, and then it was just funny how it happened, but Kylie's mom put out that little post, they immediately said, we're releasing a video. Right. Because they're like, hey, you know what? We're done getting blamed for this. We're going to let you know how this transpired. So the video.
I got to tell you, I mean, I was surprised at how fast it came out. I thought it would take a lot longer with an ongoing investigation.
Right. That's exactly what I was going to say, EC. With the ongoing investigation, they were holding it. It was already made, obviously, because they said we're releasing it, and they released it immediately to members only. So it was already made. They were just holding it. But once they started getting all this heat and the police weren't doing anything to say, no, Adventures with Purpose did everything right, they more than likely just said, screw it, let's release it. We might lose members if we don't.
In that one press conference, though, he basically kind of threw Adventures with Purpose under the bus, saying, like, yeah, we didn't call them to come in, and they didn't call us. We found out about it on Facebook.
They were embarrassed. I mean, think about the logic behind it. Yeah. These guys come in and find the body in less than 30 minutes, and you guys search for 19,000 man hours.
Right.
But the other note to this is, AWP has 2 more videos, and whichever direction this case goes, they're going to release one of the other 2. So everything's already made. They already know what's on that video, who the person is they're looking for, because they already made the video, which means this release is to make whoever it is get nervous.
Exactly. That's what, yes.
And of course, to cover their butts. If you really think about it, they were getting torn apart by a lot of people. And especially getting railed by Jagger, because if you go on AWP's Instagram, he has some untasteful things to say, but that's understandable because I'm a guy. The last thing I want to hear is my girlfriend's off with another dude and roadside assistance found them together.
Well,
Right.
I don't know.
Oh, and that's another thing I did want to bring up. When everybody says it looks just like Jagger, think about when you were kids. Just think about that for a moment. How many times did you and your 20 girlfriends dress exactly the same every day with the same hair?
Good point.
And the guys at school, you had the handful of guys who all looked exactly the same.
Yep, that's right. Yep.
So when they say he was wearing a San Fran hat, personally, my girlfriend would always steal my hats and put them in the back of her car. Now, let's imagine for one moment, this is a random guy. It was just her type, looked like Jagger, everything. It was her type. He forced her to drive somewhere, and now a tow truck guy's coming. How do you cover your appearance? Grab Jagger's hat, put it on, and pull the rim down in front of your face.
Damn, you got this all figured out, Scott. Wow.
It's so many cases, let me tell you.
He was trying to describe Jagger.
I don't think he was describing Jagger. I think he was describing exactly what he saw. Think about it. If I was a criminal and I was holding you, one of you, and you said, I need help, the car won't go, and I need to get out of there quick, I'm going to make you call roadside assistance. I'm going to look in the car. If there's a hat, I'm going to pull it on, pull it down in front of my face. Remember, he is her type. Jagger is her type. I look like Jagger. Basically, I have the same hair, the same body build. So when the guy pulls up, he's looking at a guy who has a hat pulled down in front of his face. All he sees are the cheeks, the hair, the body build. He's not saying it's definitely Jagger.
Well, I don't know. I feel like he was kind of trying to describe Jagger.
That's possible. I think either of those scenarios are possible, or something totally different.
Right. It's all speculation. But if you really start looking, and the way I approached this when I first saw this case, the first thing I heard was they didn't find her in water. And I went, well, if she didn't crash in water after a party and there's no evidence of a crash or anything else, somebody took her, because there's no car. There's no phone. So immediately people started saying, no, it was an accident. You know, she probably drove off the road. She probably ran away. And I said, there's no evidence. She graduated high school early. She's about to go to college. If anything, her boyfriend killed her and put her somewhere. And they were like, why do you say that? And I'm like, your girlfriend, 16 years old, about to go to college, far away from you. What are you going to do? Ex-girlfriend, especially one you want back. I was going through evidence, not thoughts and processes. I said, the evidence shows if she's not in water, she didn't crash, she must have been taken, or else she would have called her mom.
Well, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Maybe
likely she would have.
Maybe not. I mean, it depends.
Well, that's another thing too. I like how you said depends, because I say that in every case. Not like Robin Williams. Did you know he was sad? No, nobody does.
Right.
So let's hypothetically say you're a mom. You're not going to say, oh, me and my daughter fought every day. We hate each other. She spit on me. I punched her in the face. Right. You're going to say, she is the greatest fiddler on the planet. She's the best person that ever existed.
Exactly.
Because that's your memories.
Daughter, and
exactly.
I gotta tell you, they don't tell you everything.
Right.
Promise you. They don't tell you everything. And especially if they don't want to get in trouble, they're not going to divulge certain information. And maybe her mom wouldn't have been her first call. Maybe it would have been her dad or like a close friend. I don't know. Or roadside assistance. I'm not sure. But, I want to believe the roadside assistance guy. But his depiction of Jagger seemed a little on the nose. And it may be that simple because statistics show it's either the boyfriend or the husband, right?
Or a close family member or friend.
Yeah, exactly.
So what does Jagger say he was doing that Friday night and Saturday?
I could tell you what he wasn't doing. And I'm
Right.
not trying to be rude, obnoxious, or mean in any way.
No, go
He wasn't
ahead.
working out. The kid's not built. I mean,
No, he's
Kylie
not.
looked like she could have just wrecked him in that video if they were fighting.
Yeah.
So, but we have seen weaker men like Mr. Smith, who murdered his wife and put her in a
Right.
Tupperware container and stuck her in the garage, who was small and weak, but he murdered his wife. So we can't necessarily rule him out, but we don't have one. Where was Jagger on Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Who's his witnesses? What's his
Right.
alibi? Two,
Right.
who was Sammy with Friday, Saturday, Sunday? What's her alibi? Who was she with?
Right.
Three, we don't have Mag's information either. She supposedly
Right.
went there for 5 minutes and took off.
And left, yeah.
And Kate Suena, I think her
Yeah.
name was Sueno.
Yep.
She actually put a post up saying, stop lying. You and Kylie weren't friends. Me and Kylie were friends. You were just somebody that came around and partied. So when you have situations like that, you have to truly consider what is factual, what is not. But you need to have everybody's alibi.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
what was
And
the situation then with I'm sorry, Kelly, and I didn't mean
no, it's
to
okay.
interrupt you. But I don't follow it on social, and I'm not like on Twitter and Instagram and everything. But as far as the situation with Kylie and Jagger, it seems like they were still in contact and may have been like kind of like an on again, off again thing. But there's some other guy that was interested in or seeing at that point. Is that true?
Yeah. Wait.
That was
I don't.
a rumor. Yeah,
Okay,
I don't
wait.
know if it's true or not.
All right, I'm going to stop you guys because I actually want to show you some video now. So we have some video of the people we're speaking about of Jagger and Kate Suena. So let's bring that into the stream and take a look at what they have to say. All right.
And since we're on Watts the Obsession, let me know Watts vibes, you guys, in chat.
Yeah, Watts vibes. Are there Watts vibes? All right. All right, here we go. Whoops.
Feel that she's safe. So that's why we came here today, because I wanted to look around for myself because I haven't been here yet.
Okay. Whoa.
Oh, wait. Okay. Go ahead.
I hope that she's safe. Watts vibes immediately. Just saying.
I didn't hear exactly what he said. I was thinking that too. Let me go back to the beginning. Okay, let's see.
Sorry.
It's okay. That's
Right
okay. It's all right. I know. I thought I had the exact same thought.
Feel that she's safe.
I think he said, I don't feel that she's safe.
I'll be honest with you. I don't want to
Feel that
judge.
she's
I've
safe.
been a guy worried about a girl before.
Mm-hmm.
So judging
that she's
how
safe.
he's saying
Feels
things,
Yeah.
he's just confused. He's a 17-year-old in love.
Possibly.
And he just found out his girlfriend might have been with another guy. So
That's true. All right, let me play this. This is 3 minutes long.
Feel that she's safe. So that's why we came here today, because I wanted to look around for myself because I haven't been here yet.
It is an interview you will only see here on Fox 40 News. The boyfriend of missing teen Kylie Rodni launching his own search for her and telling us about the last time he and her friends saw her. Thanks for joining us for Fox 40 News at 5. I'm Nikki Lorenzo.
And I'm Eric Harriman. Fox 40 has live team coverage in the search for Kylie. Eric Rucker is in Truckee for us this evening as a massive team of law enforcement and community members spend a 5th day trying to find her.
We're going to start with Fox 40's Arena Shaddix, who's joining us now live near Reno. And Ro, you spoke exclusively with Kylie's close friend and her boyfriend, who are checking some of the locations where she spent some time. What do they have to say?
Well, Nikki and Eric, I'm standing at a location above Reno. Take a look behind me. It is absolutely gorgeous here. This is a place where Kylie and her boyfriend Jagger spent many hours together. He and a close friend described her as a very smart young woman, a tough girl, and they are confident she is still alive. It's been 5 days since Kylie's boyfriend, Jagger Westfall, has heard from her. He says they exchanged text messages before she left for a senior farewell party at the Prosser family campground, the last place anyone so far has reported seeing her.
And so I was just like, okay, be safe. Don't do anything stupid.
He says he complained about his day and she listened.
At 10:30, she responded to what I was saying and just said, oh, I'm sorry that you're going through that. And that was the last time I heard from her.
Kylie's close friend Kate Kuno says they spent the afternoon together on Friday, just hours before she disappeared.
The day of the party, I hung out with her. We made creme brulee. Everything was normal. I don't think she ran later. I would have noticed if something was slightly off.
While law enforcement, including the FBI, continue their search in and around the Prosser campground and reservoir, Jagger, Kate, and another friend went to Reno to search for themselves for Kylie. Only Fox 40 News was invited to go along. Kate says they were in Reno the day before the party, and Reno is a place Jagger and Kylie could go for some alone time. We followed them to a location in the hills where Jagger and Kylie spent some time in the past.
I definitely feel like that in this current situation that she's safe. I don't know where she is. We don't have anything to go off of at this point, but I fully believe that she's alive and well, and I fully believe that the two of us, three of us, or other people are going to bring her home safe.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I know. Okay.
Now, Jagger again would like people to come forward who were there that night that may have any information that can really help in this investigation with law enforcement. He says they can stay anonymous. We will have much more for you later on tonight on this story. Reporting live in.
Okay, so all right, I know DC, it's like complete Watts vibes, like verbatim Watts vibes. That was kind of crazy, but without some of the things and many of the deceptive mannerism Chris Watts displayed. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
It was a much shorter clip.
Yeah.
That of Watts on the porch, but I think that I don't know.
Okay, I want to throw something in there.
Okay.
So, if you rewatch Chris Watts' porch interview, it's Sammy. 100%. Now, if you watch Sammy, she's gone with a smile. She's looking away from the camera. If for these two who are obviously real friends of Kylie to only make 1, 2, maybe 3 appearances, compared to a person inserting themselves into a criminal investigation, like, call me, don't call anybody else. Everything you say, the police don't care. You won't get arrested for doing coke or heroin or meth. Nobody cares. That's inserting yourself pretty deep in the investigation.
Right. Well, he and Sammy both did that. They both said, no.
He's doing it in a different way. Like,
how is that?
I don't want to swear on your channel, but the way that he talks to AWP, that's an angry person who is not involved. That's an angry person who is like, you know what? You're full of it because she's not dead. She can't be because he wants her alive.
Yeah.
Sammy, I know
like Chris Watts Chris Watts, for example, never showed that level of emotion or even close
at all.
Or an impassioned response. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Even in his text after he did the stuff he did, even in his text, phone calls, at work, everybody said he looked super happy.
Yeah.
So that's a Sammy. That's not Jagger. That's not Kate. They have, look at how, the reason you're getting the Watts vibe is because first off, he's 17. He's never been on TV before. Second, he's obviously not super popular. He had one girlfriend probably in his whole life, which is Kylie. So for him, this is foreign waters. He's just deer in headlights.
Yeah.
No, Chris Watts never had girlfriends either. So again, I'm getting Watts vibes. And
yeah, well,
Chris Watts, he's not looking at the camera. So I don't know.
Chris Watts isn't that intelligent either. To be truthful.
No, he's not. He does not have an IQ of 140. I administer IQ tests and it's a bunch of bullshit.
When you actually think about Chris Watts and what happened, it would have been, except for one tiny detail, was Shanann's friend Nicole. The entire thing was picture perfect. It would have been a couple of days. His wife disappeared 3 days ago. I didn't report it because I just thought she went with friends.
Right.
And it would have been over with. They wouldn't have found anything.
I agree, yeah.
Because Nikki Kessinger's friend is a geologist, Jim. Geologists. What do geologists do? They help with forensic teams. What do they help them with? How bodies decay, deteriorate, how deep you have to bury it.
Yeah.
So Nikki Kessinger, I don't think Chris Watts was smart, but he's also not a baby killer. I don't think he did the kids. I think somebody else did. And that's why when he filed for his... This is why I'm starting my channel.
Back on Watts night.
But this is that's why I'm starting my channel. There's one document I need, and then I'm going to make the video and release it.
What's the document you need?
The email that Nikki Kessinger received at 8 p.m. the day before she came forward to police.
So Tuesday the 14th.
So here's why. In that email, they said, we are informing you that we are forwarding emails between you and Chris Watts that show a possible relationship. We strongly encourage you to reach out for legal advisory. And the next day she came in and said, I volunteer my services. I want to help find the pregnant woman and her kids.
Now, wait, hold it. I have to ask you a couple questions.
Kelly, you got to have me on for when Scott comes back for that discussion.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So now, how do you know that email exists?
Well, the first thing was I saw it on a channel where it was just released, and I didn't.
Well, go ahead and name the channel because I need to assess the level of
there was
reliability.
About 20 people I was watching at the time,
okay.
But this is why I remember it. I was actually working, and I was listening to it. You know, I was listening to all the new updates and releases, and it was just released. The documents from, I'm not sure if it was Anna Darko or from the company she was brought in by, but they informed her of it. So I saw it and I'm like, I should screenshot that. But my boss walked by and I'm like, oh, I can't touch my phone because I work in the healthcare industry.
Sure. So even though this was, I mean, you know this, I almost don't need to say it, but even though this was early in the case, still even early on the case, there was a whole lot of bullshit flying around about that because I had never even come across that notion. And I basically like
well, another person has actually seen the document and she knows it exists. It's Amanda Esvita. So ultimately, I went and downloaded the 1,967 pages of his the whole criminal case, and I'm hoping it's in there. But if it's not, it's only
not in there.
Right, he had a plea deal, so they exclude information that wouldn't go along with a plea deal.
Okay, but listen, it wasn't even in the original discovery, so. I don't know.
It came up much later because nobody was investigating Nikki Kessinger. And if you watch the videos, they said, we don't think you're guilty. We think you're 100% innocent. The guy was totally flirting with her.
We've watched the videos, honey. Don't you worry.
Yeah. And it was disgusting. I sat there puking half the time.
Yeah.
But
Amanda S., I mean, she's probably easy enough to get in touch with, Kelly.
Oh no, she went on her channel. We were talking about Kylie and she's like, hold on, Scott needs this document. She started digging and I said, stop. Let's talk about Kylie. And she was like, okay, but we'll get back to it. So her crazy crime chick and all of us have been talking about it and we're all digging for the document. I'm going through old videos for because it had to be Plunder, Zav Girl, or
Plunder's videos are gone.
Are they? Oh, yeah. I tried searching her channel. I knew I didn't see them.
Yeah, they're gone. They're only like a month. They're only a couple months old. Yeah, she just revamped. So yeah, no Plunder.
She had to reinstate her.
Yeah,
I'm gonna message her and see if she still has the files because Amanda just got or not Amanda, crazy crime chick just got rid of her entire Watts collection, and I was like, no. But I might have it.
I don't know. I think I believe I might have literally the entire Watts collection, and I have never seen it, but I will. I'm gonna dig now too. So
the email itself is very unnoticeable unless you notice it. You have to realize it from the company to Nikki only.
I'm gonna search the discovery right now.
No. Let's go on with Kylie.
No. Do you know how many things I do? I don't know if you watch my live streams, but if you had any idea how many things I'm doing while these live streams are happening, you would be shocked.
She's looking vigorously through her files while
always
talking among.
Well, I appreciate it, but I guarantee you that everybody that's in here, that's in your channel, they're like wanting to discuss the whole Jagger could be.
No, listen, I can do that at the same time. Trust me.
Here's the thing about Jagger. I mean, he was coming forward and saying, "Hey, everybody, yeah, if you wanna filter your information through me to make sure it gets to law enforcement, go just like Sammy."
Yeah,
I remember that.
basically in the same boat as far as I'm concerned.
I actually have the screenshot where he said, "Please forward me every piece of information you have." And then
Twitter has
somebody
that too. It's
somebody
weird.
went to Placer and said, "Is this true?" And they said, "This is not true." And they said, "Please send us the information." And I was like, "Oh, that's a
Right.
slap in
Yeah.
the face."
No, I,
Yeah,
yeah.
take time to go through it, but don't send it to our friends that may be
Well,
complicit.
that's
Come
the whole
on.
thing. This case made no sense because the police did not interrupt and say, "Stop listening to these children. We're trained professionals. Send us the info."
Exactly.
There is no way that any legal advisory or any judge would take anything that was given to children to be transferred to the police. I think the majority of Sammy's statements came from actual friends of Kylie that she interviewed. And that's why every time she did her interview, she came up with different stuff. Oh, yeah, there was a bull on the back. No, dear, that's a ram.
Right.
Just so you know, that's a ram. There's a huge difference.
Oh, man. All right. So this is what I'm going to do right now, because I think, one of the best methods that we've utilized to figure things out, to determine things, or to make valid conclusions that, aren't stated from law enforcement on their face, is to compare information from different sources. So when we're comparing something like an audio of an interview or video, this is excellent source to compare from, because not only do you get the information, you also get all of that nonverbal information, which is 70% of how humans communicate. So let's watch this video of Sammy, and then we can kind of compare it to the video of Jagger. So I'm going to start putting it in the stream while I'm going through this ad, and we'll be there really soon. Scott obviously doesn't know all the things I can do, DC Prime. Oh, there she is.
I just don't want to take up somebody's time on my own personal pursuit.
Don't worry. I'll probably look it. I'll look it up. So, and when I do that, that's my business. Get out of my business. When I look up your shit, that's my business. All right.
But no, I would, if you find it, it will.
Of course,
once I put all the pebbles in place, you guys are going to be like, wow, cool.
Nice. Did you watch? Oh, do you watch the live streams on this channel? If you don't, that's okay.
This is the first live stream I've ever caught.
Okay, cool. Awesome. The other night, I don't know if Lee RD is still in chat here. We were talking about some issues having to do with Nicole Kessinger's. We often are, because I put a lot of pieces of, I'm not a boastful creator, but I do believe, because it's been a lot of hard work, I have put a lot of the pieces of the puzzle together, and they make sense. They fit logically. They just fit. They just are. It is what it is. So, one thing that
you have to admit, he is real intelligent. Somebody who could come up with a real plan to not have her boyfriend get divorced and have to pay not only alimony, because remember, she was very commission based.
Yeah, she was very concerned about finances. But what Lee RD said the other evening that I had never heard, so I've been looking into this as well, is because I'm a constant researcher, is she said, well, we're all like, where's Nicole Kessinger? I can't believe nobody has freaking seen that woman in over 4 years. She's like, I got it. She's like, she's in federal prison, honey. She's like, she's in one of those like nice resort federal prisons, and she's going to be there for a few years. She's going to get out. She's going to have a new identity. She's going to have a new name. She's going to be protected by law enforcement, and she's going to get, a few $100,000, because that's how it works. I was like, oh my God, you could be right.
Well, no, she had a boyfriend. There was a picture floating around of Nikki Kessinger with her boyfriend before her name changed.
Well, maybe, but I don't think that. I don't think any of that was real. I've seen all of it. I've scrutinized all of it. If you believe it's real, that's totally cool. I personally don't.
But I thought that's why they granted it, because she went in. She said, "Look, I can't even have a normal life. I need to have my name changed, my identity changed." And they were like,
they didn't grant it though. See, I mean, as far as we know, even when she was talking, you don't watch this channel. We know everything about this case. But even when she was talking to Kevin Kobach, I just in the past few weeks, I read, did you know that there's redacted portions, and it's about half each of both of her phone call interviews from the 17th and 21st. They're only in transcript form that are pretty difficult to find. So I've read those. Those are out there. Might be a good resource for you if you're looking into things thoroughly.
I think I did see that on your channel. Believe it or
Yeah. So there's a lot of good information, but she says to Kevin Kovac, she starts complaining about everything because she always is complaining because it's always about herself. And she starts talking about her desire to have a name change. And he's like, that's not something we would do. That's something that you need to do in court.
Right.
And so in the process of going over this case with a fine-tooth comb, I have researched it. I have a lot of lawyers that I speak with, including a lot of my family members and a friend of mine who got very involved with the case and spoke to someone very close to the investigation and got a lot of really good information. That is true. That's something that's only going to be granted in court, except for the instance of witness protection, which is a very specific situation in which a person's the information they put forth must be critical and material to the prosecution and hopefully the eventual conviction of, said person.
Right.
And it, so, and that didn't, with what we knew, that did not fit for her, but there could very well be a lot we didn't know. I'm going to show you something about that after I'm done with this video.
No, she tried to do that. If you really go back and listen to her interview,
she absolutely did.
She led the police with breadcrumbs, even the fire stick mention. I don't know if this is important, but a guy way out at this one location nobody likes to go to, he was supposed to bring him a fire stick. That's where the bodies are.
We gotta laugh a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Scott. This is Watsy obsession. We know all about the fire stick. And
I know, honey. These are kindergarten kids. I'm just kidding. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. I know you're right. She was completely leading him, and we were just looking at one of the interviews. It was during the last live stream. You should watch the last live stream. It was one of the best ones I think that we have on the channel, and it was just a couple days ago, and she, and she was doing things like, this is one of the phone interviews where she says, I'm trying to help you out here, but you need to help me out too. We can do this as a team. Just don't fucking let me down, which is an amazing statement. And 3 times previous to saying that, which was 14 minutes and 20 seconds into the interview, she had asked in various ways to be allowed to see, her text messages or the phone calls they had.
Right.
She wanted so badly to get her dirty little empanada paws and her eyeballs on those text messages and phone calls because she really didn't know what they had.
She was fishing.
He was starting to get really annoyed with it. But as soon as she said, I'm trying to help you here, but you guys got to help me too. We can do this as a team. Just don't fucking let me down. Then he's like, you know what? I mean, immediately after his response is, you know what? I was thinking, and maybe we can get together and look at those text messages and you can drop and drag them and da-da-da-da. He was like, she's letting some kind of cat out of the bag on a recording. So he immediately goes and pops a pacifier in her pie hole.
Right.
I can't remember my point, but that happened. So
no, absolutely.
Yeah.
And Chris Watts was not smart enough to create this perfect murder sequence.
No, I know.
She would have been.
He wasn't smart. I mean, he was like, I can follow Emmanuel smart, but he wasn't like creative. Like I can come up with plans.
Exactly.
So just to throw this out there, my most recent ex-girlfriend, which was a couple of years ago, I just wrote off dating after it. She actually tried to murder by proxy with me, with not just her baby daddy, but the guy she was getting divorced from.
Murder by proxy.
She was trying to get me to murder for her. He
report it.
He did this to me, and I got pregnant, and he left me there to die. And I was like, really? She's like, somebody needs to take care of him. And then she'd come back and say, once I told him I wanted divorce about the guy she was divorcing, he did this and this, and if only somebody would take care of it.
So she didn't straight up ask you. Okay, I see.
She was trying to influence the situation.
Yeah. Right,
but I'm into true crime. I'm not fucking stupid. I'm sorry.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and then she tried to get a guy that we worked with to do it. And he was like, he was like 100% all googly eyed. And I'm like, guy, you're going to go to prison for the rest of your life.
Exactly. It's
But
wild.
it happens
Stop.
all the
We'll
time.
have to have you back on for
Seriously. Yeah, let's definitely, we have to have you back on for Wesley. And I'm giving you a homework assignment, or I'm not going to give you that document. And if it's this, I will find it. You have to watch the live stream from a couple nights ago. It was called It was Alibi of Lies. Okay.
I'll watch it while I'm working tomorrow. Don't worry.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to play this from this like little tidbitty here from Sammy Smith. Oops. Didn't really play, did
And
it?
hi, Molson Man.
Hi, Molson Man. Molson Man has a theme song. Whoops, no volume.
Oh my gosh, she's so good with dates.
So we have started to hold teen-to-teen talks, which is where teens are able to come and talk to us as facilitators, and just able to be there without the pressure of parents, the pressure of media, the pressure of adults and police, so that they feel more comfortable talking with another teen to come forward and maybe share some information that they were scared to before this.
Yeah, so we've been trying to move to get closer to the areas where the other teenagers that were at the party have been for these teen talks, and the one that we just had in Tahoe City was by far like the biggest showing of kids that we've had. We probably had somewhere between like 50 and 70 kids show up, and they all, like, everybody helped us. All the information that we got was good, and
it helped us move further.
Yeah, we've really made progress with the information that we've gotten.
Yeah, so we're planning on having as many of these as it takes to get in contact with anybody who may have been at the party. Whether that means we have to is comfortable and a safe person to go to.
You know what? Hold it.
Not trying to get anybody in trouble. We're just
Wait, let me go back a little bit. I'm going to play a different interview because I don't think this is the best example, but I do want to hear what they have to say. Okay, let me finish it. Here's only like a minute, not even. No, there's a few seconds. Play. Okay.
A safe person to go to, and we're not trying to get anybody in trouble. We're just trying to get more information.
And with the help of the community, we're going to find her, and everybody has been incredibly supportive, and that we are going to find Kylie with the help of our community, but only with the help of our community.
Okay, so it probably does. It does take a village now, doesn't it? Here, so let me pull up another one. Let's see. Where's the one where she's like twirling shit? Oh, I think I found it. No, that's not it either.
You should play the one where she's in the car.
Okay, yeah, I got that one. Okay, I'll do that one. I don't know why I kept I kept clicking on that one and then shying away from it. Yeah, it's a really long one, but I'll find the sweet spot. All right. Let's see. Pause. Volume. Bring her into stream. How's everyone doing there in chat? Thank you all so much for being here. Oh, Kevin, I see you.
Can't see you,
Hi, Crosshatch. Hi, Crosshatch. Welcome. Nice to see you. Let me just see if there's anyone else here. I just want to say hi to really quick. Hi, Kelly. How are you doing? Nice to see you. Welcome. Or maybe you've been here for a while. I'm sorry. I'm paying too much attention to chat. I need a little more focus here because I don't know this like the back of my hand, like Watts. Let's see. Okay. All right.
And
Ho Chi Winter's back.
I don't think anybody knows it like the back of their hand, but Scott has been like such an asset.
Yeah, seriously, on this case, for sure. My gosh.
Thank
you know so much. Thank you. I very much appreciate it.
I've only been following it for a couple weeks. Ever
me
since
too.
I saw Ara's live. And I was like, all right, Ara, walk me through this. What's going on? Because I keep seeing it pop up in my stream, like in my suggestions, but I'm like, I haven't been following it. I don't know what's going on.
Right.
But I've been hooked ever since. This is an interesting one.
It's very interesting. And yeah, we just have to know what happened. Okay, so I'm going to bring this in now. Okay, so this is how it starts out. We'll have to get to the point in the interview we want to be at. So let me just run through a little bit. Or is this, I'm sorry, it shows the interview. Oh, this is someone else's channel. You know what? We're going with it because I just can't. No, I can't. I don't want to use this one. I need to do, I don't want to use this, guys.
I was going to say, because Ikadmel actually pauses a lot of his videos and starts talking and answering questions.
Okay. Here we go. I think this is the,
I have things to say about Ikadmel.
I don't even know that guy. I've never
Another-
seen him before.
Another day.
Okay.
Naked Mel has a lot of very vast coverage for the Gabby Petito case, but he actually went to locations near where Brian Laundrie was supposed to be, and he pointed out all the homeless population and everything. But he does interrupt videos quite often. So I would recommend, if you want a straight video, just find one with her alone.
Right, got ya. Okay. So, okay, here, I think we got it.
And you really can't blame them because a lot of these videos are very long anyway.
Mm-hmm. True, true. Oops. Let's see. Is this? Oh, that's too short. Good Lord.
Go to I forget the guy's name, but the guy that was in the video with her, he's got a channel, and it's
Dream Chaser. Dream Chaser, right? Oh, there you go. American Dream Chaser. Okay. It's getting a little late for me to be thinking clearly. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, I'll do that. Oops. Oh, while we're waiting, can you see? Is this what's in the stream? Oh, because there's that weird. Hold it. The strange video of Jagger and Kylie again. I'm going to pop that in while I'm waiting for the other one to load. The 3-ring circus of StreamYard. Okay. Here we go.
Any thoughts on Ickenmel and Upchurch and their whole?
Let's not get off topic too much on that.
Yeah, that's a roller coaster ride. That's really impossible to talk about.
Whenever we stray like way off topic, I hear about it big time.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. All
But it all seems like a bunch of nonsense to me. Just want to put that out there.
Yeah. Most things are a bunch of nonsense.
Not pertinent to the case.
What is this? Okay.
But I do want to say I watched the video when she was a little kid playing the fiddle, and when she was growing up playing the fiddle. It was the cutest thing.
Aw, this is cute.
Very talented. I mean, super talented, super intelligent young person.
Yeah.
Just so much potential. It's just, it's hard.
Yeah. It is hard. All right, I found TS. I'm just trying to figure out which video it is here. Good Lord. Oh, here it is. I got it. Very good. Okay. Yay.
You? Yeah. Oh, no.
Okay, so that was that. All right. Oops. Oh, don't start without us. Don't start without us. Okay, here. Let me pull the stream. All right. Here we go. Share. Oh, Liardi is here. Yay, Liardi. My new Watts hero came up with a new idea that is very plausible, highly plausible, that I hadn't heard yet. Love Liardi. Here we go.
Lee was so convinced too.
She was so convinced it was convincing, right?
Yeah, lots of conviction with hers.
Yeah.
I watched it on replay.
Yeah, she really
I might have
believes
been
it.
live, but yeah.
I think you were there for, was that? Oh, hey, happy belated birthday. You were in a live stream on your birthday, and I just started to make a big deal about saying happy birthday. I was singing you happy birthday, and then you were gone.
I think
she'll be on our show tonight.
What's that? Okay, let me start this. All right.
These are the conversations with no parents, no media, and no adults at all, no police, because
Oops.
All of those sources.
The audio is really low.
I know. I can't do anything about it. It's the video. That's what I was trying to fix. Oh, wait, here. There we go.
So if there's any teens out here that want
it's bad audio.
That's a good question about the Amber Alert.
Take you one by one into this family right here. Sorry, that seems creepy. I don't know.
American Dream Chaser, you need to tweak your audio.
Bazinga says no Amber Alert.
Well, they have specific guidelines for an Amber Alert that was not met by this.
Right,
So
right.
they couldn't release an Amber Alert.
Exactly.
I can't hear
Good
it,
question.
Kelly.
GPS in the vehicle by Jane Darby. It's a good question. Very good. I don't know. That's a great question.
Yeah, his audio sucks. He doesn't do any audio engineering. Let's see if I can get.
No,
Yeah.
American Chaser. Come on.
Look, I'm giving you some free press. This is not a good ad for your channel. Fix your audio.
So,
okay.
Kylie is one of my close.
He listened. Okay, cool. Good job, American Dream Chaser. All right, here we go.
Sammy, thank you so much. I know you've been super busy, and it's an honor. It's a privilege to have you. I'm sorry for the circumstances, but I know you're super busy. You're pressed for time, so let's get to it. I know you've been repeating yourself all day, but what's the latest? Tell us who Kylie Rodni is. Go ahead. I'll let you have the stage.
Yeah. Okay. So, thank you, Kylie.
No,
yeah.
You're welcome. I know you're super busy. I know you got to be tired. I know
you already said that. Stop.
I followed you at the press conference today.
Does it look like Larry?
You're busy.
It does look like Larry. Maybe it is Larry.
Growing. I just want to say I really admire what you're doing. It's an amazing. You're amazing young. You're only 18 years old, right?
Yeah, I'm 18.
It's outstanding for a young girl your age to. But anyway, nonetheless, I know you're pressed for time, and everybody's.
Dude, he says you're pressed for time 5 times already. Stop. I'm sorry.
Wanting to know what's the latest.
Listen, flirting is really hard in today's age.
Yeah.
You take it from the
You're right.
top. Who's Kylie Rodni? Let's go back to the beginning, I guess, real quick. Just give us a rundown.
Totally. Yeah. So, Kylie is one of my close friends. We met through mutual friends, and we became closer in the past year to coming months recently. And she is just a light in a lot of people's lives. She's wonderful. She's smiling all the time. She's caring. She's beautiful. She's
her in the
there
present
for anybody who.
What's that?
Talking about her in the present tense, which is
she is. Yes, that is good.
But not only that, she's not really saying anything. She has a beautiful smile. She's a light. She smiles, and she has teeth, and she has lips that smile.
Listen, she's 18. She's 18. You know what I mean?
But my best friend, I can tell you, he's into true crime. We play basketball together. Really good at.
How old are you?
I'm not disclosing my age.
Okay.
But even back then, me and my best friend, we would be able to name stuff about each other, and we would laugh about it later.
They're not
all right.
friends,
Well,
but she is referring to her. In
so yeah, let's just keep playing this.
She's very outgoing. She's outdoorsy too. She loves the water. She loves to sing. Her voice is just amazing too, and she's just a beautiful girl, and we all miss her a lot. And so,
yeah, I'm sure. You saw her at the party, right? You were at the party with her?
Yes, I was the last person to contact her after the party, and I was with her basically throughout the entire party. I was
No, it's okay.
walking
It's
around
okay.
with her.
I know you got a lot going on. I get it.
Shut up.
I'm at the teen meetup, so there's a lot of kids outside.
Everybody's wanting to talk to you, and like I said, I greatly appreciate every minute I have with you. Can you take a quick look at this photo? Is this what she? Can you confirm whether or not she was wearing this at the night of the party? Is that what she was wearing?
Yeah, so that top is exactly what I saw her in. If you can see on her left side, on her hip, you can see some skin. She was wearing a black bodysuit. I remember because we went to the bathroom together, peed in the woods together a couple of times, and so that's her shirt right there. The pants were different that she wore to the party. She was wearing green Dickies pants, but that belt is definitely what she was wearing too. I remember watching her have to take it off when we were using the restroom together.
Well, I just have to say something. I saw Utter Nutter said, Ara was on this dude's panel. Ara's been on every dude's panel and woman's panel. Ara's a panel queen. We love you, Ara. Okay, go ahead.
Those are green Dickies, right? Can we agree?
Those are green Dickies. No, I don't know.
I mean, those are green Dickies. Those are green. They appear blue in this photograph, I guess.
I don't know. Some people call colors different wrong things anyway.
But
so
they're green. They're green.
Okay. Okay.
Moving
All right.
We were out using the outdoor restroom if like popping squat basically.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That was just released from the Placer County Sheriff's Office. This picture, I just found it on their Facebook page.
Yeah.
So there's talk about this top, the spaghetti straps top. Some people are saying it was found at the area. Can you confirm that, or is that
so that has not been confirmed. If it has not been posted on our Find Kiely Rodni Instagram page or on the website or on the Placer County Sheriff's Office Facebook or anything, then it is not true, and it is not something that people should be following on or trusting. The information will be posted and will be coming from us when it is confirmed. So to let people know what to look out for, if a changed shirt or something. So yeah, that has not been confirmed.
Kelly, I'm sorry to interrupt again.
Perfect?
But Placer,
Just one sec. Go ahead.
But Placer County had jurisdiction when she was a missing person. But then once her body was recovered, then it went to the jurisdiction of Nevada County. Correct, Scott or Kelly?
Do you know, Scott? That sounds about right. I don't know the particulars in this case.
It sounds right, but I don't have it written down.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds right. It sounds like how the jurisdiction chain of custody would work with. Yeah. So, yes.
Okay. Just wanted to confirm. And if chat knows, let me know.
Okay. Wait, what did you say really quick? I can check in I can find in my document here. So you said who has jurisdiction when and when? Say it again.
Before, when she was a missing persons, it was Placer County, and then once she was confirmed to have been in the lake, it was Nevada.
Okay.
Well, actually, I believe it went Placer County, then CHP, which is California Highway Patrol. They joined in, then the search teams, then the FBI. So the reason the FBI is involved is when it's over state lines, or if it's severe criminal activity, like brutal unaliving. So for them to still be investigating, there has to be something more precise. But I do believe what you said, it went from Placer to the other. That makes more sense.
As far as jurisdiction, yeah.
Because it's a death of a minor, I believe.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Okay.
Night of the party, the last time you saw her, can you tell us about, I guess, give us a rundown of the party real quick. I understand it was a large gathering.
Yeah, so it was supposed to be a senior farewell party where all the seniors and everybody from around our area, like Tahoe and Truckee and Incline and Kings Beach, were supposed to be there. They were invited there because it was supposed to be like saying goodbye to your favorite seniors before everybody starts going off to college, because soon enough here people are going to start leaving and moving out. And so Kylie's a senior, or she graduated early, so she's considered a senior, and I was a senior,
wow,
so
hold
every
it
senior was initially invited.
We have a really, 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 really good question in chat. Now, the question is excellent. If it doesn't necessarily apply to this case because Sammy is misspoke or something, who knows, but this is a question that you can always consider when someone makes this claim in a case where there was foul play. Downtown Wonder says, Downtown Wonder is the winner. How does she know she was the last one to see her?
That's actually been a question that a lot of channels been covering. So here's the fallacy with that statement. She says, I was the last one to speak with her, and I was the last one to see her. However, she said, I could hear in the background the party. She was still at the party. So if you really think about that, her saying I'm the last person to see her makes no sense.
Exactly. Unless, and I'm not saying I think this is the case, but if what she's saying is accurate and she's meaning the words that are coming out of her mouth, is what I'm saying is she's not using like some kind of a figure of speech, which she might be. She still could be the last person to see her if she saw her after she left the party and she was also involved in her demise.
Right, exactly. 100% agree. But to make a statement saying I was the last person she spoke to on the phone, How do you know?
How do
You're
you
not
know
there
that?
with her.
Exactly.
She could have
Right.
gotten a call from 15 other people right after you.
But I think this is just a part of her self-centeredness, honestly.
Right. Her
Yeah.
information salad, stuff that she gathered from people, plus her little tidbits she just throws
And
in.
law enforcement. Let's not forget that she's fielding the teen connection for law enforcement.
I don't believe that's official, to be honest with you.
No.
I just think she's saying that and kids are coming to her and she's
Yeah.
getting information and she's like, oh, guess what? There was a ram on the car.
Yeah. Law enforcement has not put anything out designating her as like a point of contact or anything. I think that's a self-designation. And I mean, for law enforcement to like, you know, correct her really would be splitting hairs for them. Cause they're like, if we're getting the information, however, whatever, you know, that's what I think about it. But
okay.
Well, here's the thing. If you really think of Sammy's position, according to Kylie's real friends, she said that her and Kylie weren't really friends. In her interview, she said, oh, we met a year ago and we became really close in the past couple of months recently. So it changed from a year to the last few months to recently, meaning just what, a week, 2 weeks, a day. Now, when you consider that, Sammy coming forward saying, I'm the one in charge of all this. Number one, if Kylie is found alive, she's a hero. She's a warrior that stood out there and said, I'm the only one looking for you. 2, Kylie's found dead. I looked until we found the body and I'm a hero still. 3, Kylie's not found. She's still saying, well, I'm out here on the ground searching. I'm the hero. So in all 3 scenarios, it's a win-win-win situation for her. And that's a very good position to be in, whether you're involved or not. Because now you're internet famous.
Well, let me define good. A good position. It's a good position for her only because all of those situations put her in the spotlight and give her positive attention, which is her priority. Somebody who had a different set of priorities, some of those might not be a good situation. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Right. That's internet fame. So what's the best way to become internet famous and to get a ton of views, a ton of likes and everything until you delete your Instagram because suddenly now you look like a fool when you said they didn't find her body. But having thousands of followers, tens of thousands of followers.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing about Sammy. Allegedly, and this is just what I've heard, not what I know, her mother is an attorney and she was homeschooled. So she was the one that put the party together. So these are things that I've heard and have not, verified, because I don't know how you'd verify that. But she's an adult. She's 18 years old and she was homeschooled. She's the one that organized the party at Prosser Creek, and her mother is an attorney, and she's since gone off the grid, except for her saying that, no, they didn't find her.
Well, I'd like to interject something there. According to Sammy and a couple of her friends maybe supported it, she came up with the whole party idea. But she was homeschooled. So think about how many of those 300 people came to her home to go to school with her. It makes no sense. Well, I'm homeschooled. I only know people by slight association. So I organize.
We don't know that. We don't know that. She may have been involved in.
But you have to think about the logic behind it. This girl is proclaiming she organized a party and advertised for it. There's tons of people that walk around saying, hey, there's a party over here this weekend. It doesn't mean she invited all 300 people.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So I think all this just goes to show that she wants to be, she's 18. Okay. I work with this age group. She wants to be accepted by her peers. Her, her logical brain is not fully developed until 26. She's got 6 years to go. There's a part of her brain that's less mature than the other part of her brains. And therefore she's, seeking attention is driving a lot of what she's doing, both by decision and impulse. I just think all these situations we're pointing at indicate that.
Agree.
See, I love your outlook on this because that's 100% on point when you think about everybody out there.
Yeah.
That's within that age group. So yeah.
Especially she seems to have some more exaggerated needs for, acceptance, attention. And maybe it's because, I never had heard the homeschool, honestly. So maybe it's because she was homeschooled.
But
but another thing about the homeschooling is, but there's a million other reasons that would be too. So, yeah. So I'm a behavioral specialist. I work with, well, mostly like teenage students for the past several years now, Scott. So I look for these things. But
Yeah,
if
and
she
I'm
was
not putting down
homeschooled,
homeschooling at all. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I am not putting down homeschooling. I'm just pointing out she's claiming she put together this whole party.
Exactly.
Maybe she did it online, but
yeah,
for one person to put together a big party where people have parties all the time, where Kylie has been known to go to parties there in the past,
Right,
according to her
right.
grandfather,
Right.
doesn't tell me that she created the party. She just told a few people.
Scott, why are you so stuck on who created the party? Are you jealous of Sammy Smith?
Well, I'm trying to point out it's got clout. So when she
Exactly,
came out,
right,
she's saying me, I.
Exactly.
And everything's about her. This has nothing to do with Kylie.
Yes,
if
we
you
all
really
agree
look
on
at it.
that. Yes, we all agree on that. And thank you. And but the one thing I wanted to say, and I'm just trying to say before I lose it because I'm tired. So when, Mags and possibly a couple or one or two of Kylie's other friends say, oh no, she wasn't friends with Sammy Smith. Now, learning that she was homeschooled makes me look at it in a different light, because if she was homeschooled, or it would be more accurate to say it like this, if she was not someone who was, a part of their everyday, high school atmosphere and life and all the things that go along with that, she could have a friend who's not a part of that they wouldn't be so keenly aware of, that wouldn't be on their radar. So I don't know. Here, let me play a little more of this. I want to hear what she has to say again.
To the party, and as well, all grades were invited just so that they could say goodbye. So I had talked with Kylie, and I had known she was going beforehand. We hadn't planned on going together, and we ended up not going together. She came with her best friend Mags Larson. Magdalene, sorry, is her first name.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, and so she came with her, drove in with her, and then Mags ended up leaving about 10 minutes into the party with her boyfriend Ross, Mags's boyfriend, and told Kylie goodbye and everything. And they were never planning on like leaving together or staying together at the party. They just went to the party together because they were hanging out earlier in the day. And then I saw her the second she got there, and from that moment on, we were pretty much seen together all around the party. We would break off for mere moments from each other to go talk to other people or to go do other things, but we would always come back to each other. We were just going around the party. We were drinking the same drinks, being teenagers, throwing glow sticks into the party, and it started to grow really big. I would say around 10 to 10:30, it just blew up. Like, it started to get to the point where I was getting overwhelmed, and I'm a very social person. I've been to a lot of these parties. I've never been overwhelmed. I've actually been underwhelmed, but at this party, it was very large. Like, it was bigger than any party we've had in Truckee all year, and for a lot of years past. There were people from what we think Sacramento, San Francisco. I remember talking to somebody who was from San Francisco, Reno, Folsom, areas that were just way out of reach from it. And it was really overwhelming and weird to see, but I didn't really think much of it. I just thought, oh, kids are around here. They have vacation homes up here. They're just coming to party because why not? So then Kylie and I were going around taking shots and just drinking.
I mean, so these are very critical factors in the big picture. That there were, all these people from out of town locations, and it wasn't just necessarily. I think, a lot of people think about this party. Oh, it was a high school farewell party, even though the numbers were large, like 200 to 300 teenagers. I think since it's a high school farewell party, it's easy to just imagine all these people that went to high school together. But the reality of it is there were people from many different places, according to Sammy and other people at the party. And, some of those people, your creepy adult, your creepy male adult who wanders into a, party of teenagers and ogling at all the girls, who knows who showed up there, And then now she's talking about drinking. So this is also a factor.
We were trading drinks with each other. We were sharing drinks with each other. we would go back to her car to get some alcohol sometimes.
There you go.
And then we went to her car to charge her phone, and we were talking about
Okay, so right there, when we were talking about the phone not being charged earlier and the issue of the roadside assistance and the battery, and he said, "Oh, well, hey, that proves that her phone wasn't charged." So I don't remember what the conclusion was, but I was thinking, well, that would only be if she had a charger with her, which she probably did. But according to Sammy, now we know she did. See, all these little pieces, fit in, and they need to be considered.
Just random stuff, and then it's kind of hard to remember. And so, or no, we were talking about her texting her mom and her charging her phone and stuff, and just about the party in general. And then we had a few other friends in the car, and then we all decided to go back to the party, and we were around in there for a bit. I had asked her for a ride home when we were in the car because my ride was leaving and I wanted to stay at the party longer. And so then we ended up splitting up in the party because I went to go find another ride when we got back into the party after leaving the car, so that we could sorry, my mind is in a moment.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I want to take a couple of questions here real quickly. Noah in the chat wants to ask you, who was fighting at the party? The girl and guy. Look into them. Was there a fight at the party?
Yeah, so there were some friendly fights that were going on. There was we had boxing gloves. People were trying to instigate. It wasn't anybody who had really any drama or they weren't enemies or anything. It was more just friendly fights to keep entertainment going. This happens at a lot of our parties. We just do it to have fun. If somebody gets hurt, we have people on them, but
so it wasn't.
Okay, I have a question. So Jennifer Bradford, are you still in chat, honey? I'd like to hear from you. She says there are, oops, where'd that go? I just pinned a comment and went away. But what she said anyway was, there are many red flags in this interview, in my opinion. So what are you identifying as being red flags? And also those of you who are in chat, do you think that there are red flags in this interview, or does this seem like par for the course to you? If you do see any red flags in this interview, what do you think they are? And oh my God, that was a really long time ago, but that was still this interview. So sorry guys, I'm way behind in chat.
So what I can see, Kelly, is she's taking ownership of these parties. She's saying our parties. So I feel like she's involved in planning. And then another thing that I can see from her body language is that she's pushing her hair behind her ears when she gets uncomfortable. Tell me if you notice this.
You see what? Say that again, sweetie.
She's pushing her hair behind her ears like a grooming gesture when she gets uncomfortable.
Okay, cool. I will definitely pay attention to that. Let's see.
Just look out for that. We'll see that more, I think.
Okay. Cool. So common sense, what's your agenda here? I mean, if you're just trying to bring common sense and you think that's the way you look at things, but
common sense, that's our agenda.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to bring here.
Yeah. Oh, there's a person chat called Common Sense.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. No, sorry. But how would you know that unless I told you that? Okay.
Okay. That's what we're trying to bring here, common sense, and we're on the same page.
Oh, okay. Downtown Wonder says, Kelly, she attended a charter school. Okay. So I honestly don't know anything about Sammy's schooling. If I've even heard about it, it wasn't on my radar. I just don't, maybe I haven't. So even if it is a charter school, so my concern of where she went to school would be, does that indicate that she may have actually legitimately been good friends with Kylie, but Kylie's friends from her own high school wouldn't know that? You know what I mean? But thank you for clarifying, Downtown Wonder. I really appreciate that. Let me get down a little farther in chat and see if I can get a little current at least. Kevin says, so
So I just read that Kylie graduated from the charter school. It says Kylie.
Oh, you trailed off, sweetie. Where are you, Scott? Scott?
Sorry, I went back to the website. Hold on one sec. I'm going to check.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
If you can, pin the link in the back chat so Kelly can check it out.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Kylie graduated from the charter school.
Okay.
Is it private chat that I posted?
Oh, no. Anywhere is fine, wherever you feel comfortable. So maybe that's what Downtown Wonder was saying. I may have been thinking about it wrong. I'm wrong sometimes, every now and then. Actually, a lot I'm wrong, but why can't I see?
Kelly, everybody's wrong.
What's that?
Everybody's wrong until.
Yes, that's right. It's true. A lot of people, though, especially on YouTube, especially when it comes to true crime, especially creators, won't ever admit that, though. So I like to make a point of acknowledging that I am wrong and I will be again. And that's true for everyone, all of you out there.
And most of it's speculative. I always have to reiterate that. That's why I named my channel Allegedly. So this covers all the bases.
What is your channel name, by the way, so we can look for it when it's up?
It's created, but it's not active. It's Allegedly.
Oh, cool. Very good. Awesome. I can't wait. That's great. I always support
Just allegedly
other channel creators.
Yes, ma'am. Just Allegedly. And it's when you see it, it'll be like files. One of those magnifying glasses, and it says Allegedly stamped across it.
Okay.
Once it's active, I'll hop in and let you guys know.
Yeah. Get that.
But it covers everything, not just true crime. The very first video that I'm working on right now, it's for the weight calculation, explaining how people would travel from Earth to a further destination and what the weight calculation actually means. So.
Oh, that's interesting. Very interesting.
Go.
So, and welcome. Let's see, what is it? Tatra. I'm probably saying this wrong. I'm so sorry. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. So, says if my car isn't running, it doesn't charge. I've had both cars that I think I used to have a Jetta, and when my Jetta was not on, when it wasn't running, like the ignition wasn't turned, it would still charge. Whatever. And I think my Subaru, if it's not running, it doesn't charge. I've had a couple cars in both situations. So just regarding her phone or Kylie's phone not being charged, when we are also at the same time looking at the alleged roadside service call because her car, it seemed like something was wrong with her battery. So, but thanks for that. Do we want to keep watching this or what do you think?
Yes.
A little longer? Please. Okay.
It wasn't like a fight out of anger. It was just kind of a just a fun competition type of fighting.
Yeah, just see who wins and who goes home with the title, which I will randomly admit people do end up getting in fights over who won, but not this time.
Daniel Taylor, and Nola, thank you for that comment. Daniel Taylor's in the house. Daniel Taylor wants to ask you, did Kylie have her boyfriend or an ex-boyfriend with her at the party?
No, there was no ex-boyfriend there. Her ex-boyfriend lived in Napa. He was in Napa at the time, and I think he lives in Napa. And he actually drove up the next day, the second he heard that she was missing. He's very close with her family and her. There was no anything. And she does not currently have a boyfriend. She was rocking the single life, like we used to say. She just wanted to be open and single and
Okay, so Napa.
She's only 16. She's just a baby. I just can't even imagine how.
Go ahead.
So Napa, I'm not familiar with California, but how far away is that from?
Somebody said 4 hours away or something, but that's not the important part. Remember, Jagger just talked to her at 10:30 that night as her boyfriend. So why is Sammy saying she's playing the field?
Her like on again, off again?
Well, Jagger from day one has said it's his girlfriend, but Sammy's saying she's rocking the single life. Why would you say that?
Well, I think the way that I've gathered from taking from what a number of different sources have said, unfortunately, obviously, we cannot hear from Kylie herself speaking for that moment of time of her relationship with Jagger, but we've heard from Jagger, we've heard from Kate, we've heard from Sammy. There's been some other sources. There have been a couple parent sources that you heard from referring to, I don't know, but it seems like they had been in a relationship it seems like she was a senior and she was going off to college soon. And maybe it seems to me like they were in one of those relationships where you break up, but you're teenagers, you love each other, and hormones and fears. So you get back together and it's very dramatic. And I think that she was starting to move away from that. And he really wanted to keep her. So it makes perfect sense to me. He would be referring to her as my girlfriend, present tense, and she wouldn't be feeling that way, especially confiding in her friends about it. So I think that's I think that's how it's going. I'm putting the final word on that one. Okay, let's keep listening.
How's mom doing? Have you talked to her mom at all?
Yeah, so I've been in close contact with the family.
How they doing? She looked just a nervous wreck. I can't even imagine what she's going through.
Yeah.
Our thoughts and prayers are with. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry. Continue. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say our thoughts and prayers are with the family. It's got to be a hard time. What can we do to help? I've
just got to say, this is a real disconnect between interviewer and interviewee. This is a mismatch. I wish it was somebody different interviewing her. No offense to you. I think it's just a combination. So anyhow,
the public the web sleuths out there. What can we do to help find Kylie? What can we do to help you?
To everyone at this point around the world, I'm hoping that this is reaching, and if anybody's seeing this, just if they can keep sharing this, get the story out to neighbors and friends and family and local news stations and local newspapers, and posting flyers, making flyers, screenshotting, and somehow making flyers. We need this information to spread everywhere. We're trying to get posters everywhere, information everywhere, just trying to have everybody in the world at this point looking for Kylie and just trying to find Kylie. And if anybody sees anything, to report it immediately to the police, the Placer County Sheriff's Office, or the numbers that have been loaded on. There's been a lot of trouble and frustration with people about the tip line, but they have to understand that there's 1,000 people in there working, getting millions of calls a day now.
Okay, but
I know you had stated.
Go ahead. Her numbers are not accurate, but I think that she's basically coming from a point of view of somebody that plans parties and helps law enforcement. I'm not getting Watts vibes from her at all.
No, I'm not either. I'm getting just a teenager who has an inflated sense of self-importance.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not getting a vibe.
I don't, the same thing. Yeah, I don't feel it at all. Yeah, I think she's just, she's just a teenager with an inflated sense of self-importance. That's like what I get from her.
Put it to that standard, but yeah, I think she's.
So, would you guys agree that when Nikki Kessinger deleted her text message and everything, that's a red flag, right?
So weird.
And Chris Watts deleting stuff, red flag.
Yeah.
Well, Jagger, Kate, none of them deleted anything. The only person that has is Sammy. So you're not getting the vibe, but she's stepping in. First off, she's inserting herself directly into the investigation 100%. Not like everybody else. Even her parents didn't do as many interviews as she did. But she's inserting herself, making all these statements that she cannot possibly uphold. And then the moment they find the body, she denies that they find the body. And then she deletes her social media completely.
Well, maybe reality finally like smacked her across the face and she realized that her friend was dead and she, started grieving. I don't know, because it doesn't seem like she, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know.
Jagger lashed out. Mom lashed out. Everybody's lashing out and yelling at everybody except for Sammy. She just deletes and disappears.
People respond differently to stress and trauma. I mean, that's but maybe she might be suspicious. The only reason I'm disagreeing with you, I'm not trying to be contrary. I don't feel suspicious of her. I just don't. But
I'm not saying she's guilty. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying she's just a liar. 100% a liar.
Totally. Yeah.
None of this is true. She's making it up. She wanted the spotlight.
I know. You're stuck on that though. Who cares? I'm like worried, is she involved in like any part of the crime or knowledge
I don't think
of the crime?
so.
Like, no, I don't think so either. We just know she has this kind of personality. I think we can even stop watching this. I'm kind of bored with it. I just think she's just like, I'm like, I got this girl pegged. She wants the world to love her. She's like saying, we want everyone around the world to be, sharing this and read, like my Instagram page. You know what I mean? I got her number,
Here's the problem, though. Here's the major problem with her. Like, let's say, and I'm just going to throw it out there. Watts the Obsession is my best friend, and I'm a female, and we're out having a good time. And I say, hey, can you give me a ride home? And you're like, yeah, I got you, girl. Look at me stumble. Oh, wait, you're too drunk. So you drive home yourself. Right. I'm going to find another ride. And then I call and say, hey, are you good, girl? And you're like, yeah, man, I'm still at the party having a good time. Okay, cool. It doesn't sound right. Who was she with? You said we were together the whole time at the party. Who did you leave her with? You just left her standing there alone? A drunk girl? Come on.
No, but she left.
People do that.
Yeah.
She left her alone, possibly because she was talking to somebody and she was like, that person will take care of her. I don't have to worry about it.
Totally, possibly. Absolutely.
So Sammy knows who she was there with last, because you're not just going to say, hey, stand here in a corner and be drunk. Don't worry, you'll be fine.
So what would be her motivation for covering for that person?
Hooking up. So I think Sammy took off to hook up. And when she took off, she was like, hey, girl, I'm going to go, are you good? And she's like, yeah, I'm talking to this person, so I guess I'm cool. I'm going to go home soon anyway.
No, what would be her motivation to continue to lie about it and therefore, protect?
Because she's the girl that left a drunk girl at a party to get taken advantage of. And look, she's dead now.
Yeah, right. I got that. Okay, get ya. Okay, totally possible. Yeah. What were you going to say, DC? She was trying to, oops.
No, I just agree.
Okay. I thought you were trying to say something. Yeah, no, I think you could totally be right about that. 100%, Scott. Yeah, that sounds very plausible. Absolutely. So let's see. I want to go back to I want to play the preview of the adventures with not purpose again, just for those who may not have been here in the beginning, just so they can check that out. I'm gonna have to wrap up soon because I gotta go to work in the morning. Let's see.
Yeah, Kelly, I'm gonna head out, but you guys thank you, Scott, for being here. And
it was great meeting you and talking.
Yeah, and please come back for Watch the Obsession Live. I usually do them around 9 o'clock on like whatever days, varying days. I usually do them on Friday. And
oh no, I'm still with you, don't worry.
Yeah. Oh, no, cool. Well, I'm just saying, don't forget, because we'd love to hear your thoughts on that, too, in that forum. So
now the interview you're putting up, is it the one where he announces that they showed up and where they're searching first?
What's that?
The video you're pulling up, is it Doug with Adventures with Purpose when he announces where they're searching?
It's the 2-minute preview.
Oh, okay.
For the one that was released. Yeah, because I don't want to, I feel like that one is okay to share because it's a preview for the thing that they really want people to be watching. So it's helping the effort. But I don't want to be showing like any of their stuff that, they're making money for a good cause on. You know what I mean? So don't want to do that to them. All right. Okay, so here's the little preview one. Let's see. All right, let me go back. So, Scott, briefly in, let's see, 100 words or less, what is your very favorite and or what do you believe is the most intriguing true crime case that you've, investigated, or gotten into, or whatever the word would be?
Well,
Sleuth.
I mean, the biggest one that bothered me the most was the Gabby Petito one. I mean, don't get me wrong, Watts bothered me tremendously. There are so many. Ariel Castro just destroyed everything.
Yeah.
Israel Keys, another one that was unbelievably crazy. There's one from here in New York, Craig Freer. Look that up.
Yeah. No, I know. It is crazy. There's several in New York, actually.
I mean, you can tell how long I've been into true crime. I just actually had this book that I was pulling out to tell somebody else about. Let me see it. It's got to be right here. I met the author of it. She's a PI, and she did the investigation for the mother and son duo that was wreaking havoc all across New York way back in like the 80s.
Right. I remember that. Oh my God. Well, I don't remember it, but I feel like I vaguely remember it, but that's a really cool case.
I think it's called Never Mess with a Femme Fatale or something.
Ah.
But I got her autograph, met her, and that was when I lived in Philly a decade ago.
No way. I lived in Philly for 20 years.
Shush. I moved away from there 10 years ago.
No, I moved away from there. I think it was 8 years ago.
So
That's
I'm
crazy.
originally from New York, went into the
me
military,
too.
lived in San Fran, Fresno. When I was in the military, I was in Sasebo, Japan. Then I came back to New York, moved to Vermont, went to Philly, came back to New York.
Oh, yeah. I grew up in upstate New York. I went to Villanova. I then moved to New York for about 9 months. I went to law school in New Jersey and dropped out on a full scholarship. We're not going to talk about that.
That's not a big deal. Dropping out. Dropping out isn't bad.
On a full scholarship. That was the problem.
Oh.
And I was just too young, too naive. And then I lived in Philadelphia for 20 years. I lived first in Old City, and then I moved to just inside South Philly, Pennsport, and then I lived in Fishtown.
Oh wow. I didn't live in Fishtown. I've been there, but I first lived in a high rise that was right on Pennsylvania Avenue.
Oh yeah. Which one?
I can't remember.
I have friends in all of them.
I just talked about it the other day too, and it's funny.
That's cool.
But I moved from there to the outskirts on Roosevelt Boulevard. Then I decided my friend lived in Chinatown, so I was going to move to Chinatown.
Cool. Yeah.
And that's one thing I love to bring up in chats. So the tower pings, so important. When you live in Chinatown in Philadelphia, you ping in Camden, New Jersey.
Yeah, but okay. So listen, here's another thing you might not know. When I lived in Philadelphia, I was a site acquisition specialist for 5 years. My office was across. My boss actually lived in Northern Liberties, and he also he and another woman who was the vice president for Verizon, it was their little company. Our office was over in Haddon, New Jersey. Anyhow, I have done extensive work on the ping because I've been able to access some information about the towers that is not just open to the public, because I'm still friends with those people that I worked for. I was friends with him before he hired me. He hired me because he thought I could do the job. It just required working really hard and being a go-getter for a few years, because we were working on expanding the wireless capacity for when the Pope visited Philadelphia. It was the Pope project.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And and I was the head for Verizon. It was pretty crazy. But so anyway, so I've been able to access this information that, you normally wouldn't be able to get. So the ping, in this sense, there was one tower in Frederick. She pinged off that Frederick tower. I am 100,000% sure of it. In Chinatown, that Camden ping was due to capacity at the time. Who's your carrier?
Verizon.
Okay. Yes. It was due to capacity at the time, and also the varying, heights that the antennas were at when they were actually on like the side of buildings and stuff.
Right.
So that's that. But in Frederick, Colorado, where there's not that issue, 100%, she pinged off the one Frederick tower, which means she was probably within, 4 blocks of the Watts house. So we know where she was.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
For my story, though, it was funny because the girl I was dating, she started to think that I was buying drugs in Camden.
Oh, that's funny. I'm sorry I interrupted you. That's funny.
Because when I was
getting all these calls,
I would send her messages and I would send her pictures, and she's like, "You're not at home," and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She's
that's
like,
so
"You're in
funny.
Camden."
That's great. Oh my goodness.
Yep. But I worked at 2000 Market Street, so you probably know where that is. It's a huge building. Yep. But we also worked, previous to moving to 2000, we worked in the old building that was near the jewelry district. And that's where Unwrapped was filmed. And me and Mark Summers, we became wicked good friends because I'm a magician also. And he used to work at Magic Castle.
That's super crazy. I had a yoga studio on, talking about 2000 Market. I had a yoga studio on 2nd and Chestnut, the corner.
Oh, nice, nice.
So it was in the, I don't know if you know, I'd be floored if you did. It was on the corner. It was called the Corn Exchange Building.
Oh, I know the building. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Crazy. That's freaking crazy. Wow. Yeah, I had the yoga studio for like 10 years.
Oh, I'm glad I did
So
this live
interesting.
tonight then with you.
Yeah, fun. I know everyone's dropping out of chat. They're like, we don't need to hear about this.
Yeah, they're like, you guys can talk about your history another
I'm
time.
sorry, guys. That's like, you know how much I love Philadelphia. Joan's not in here though.
I love Philadelphia too.
Let's see. I'm just seeing what's going on here in chat.
So this chat button, I'm on my iPhone. So in StreamYard, the chat brings me to chat, right?
Yeah.
But I can't.
Definitely. Yeah, no one's even talking. Oh, it should, but I can't hear you now. Hi, Nilda. How are you, honey? Welcome, sweetie. Any new updates on the toxicology reports? Not that I know of.
I didn't see any. I looked earlier today. They usually release tox and all those reports early in the morning because, you know, people start waking up and they see it during the course of the day. But I don't think they're going to release this one for a while.
Okay. All right.
Because truthfully, think about it. We already know she was drinking. We already know drugs were there.
Right. Exactly.
And they don't test. We learned this from David Politis with the missing 411. They do not test for Rohypnol or any kind of those date drugs unless it's specifically requested. So unless her parents say, we want everything like Rohypnol specifically and this one specifically and fentanyl specifically, they won't test for that. They test for the basics.
Yeah, right. Exactly. They have their, yeah, that's true. Yeah. I don't know if that's going to.
What we might find out is they might say, like, you know, in other cases when they're like the bone in her neck, that one special bone that if it's squeezed too hard, it breaks, and they know that it was strangulation. They might say she was smothered or she was strangled or she was blunt force trauma. But I doubt they're going to just come out and say water was in the lungs and she drowned, because at that point, there's more questions. It branches out.
Okay, cool. Wait, you know what? And I'm sorry, I heard you. I didn't mean to dismiss what you're saying. I'm trying to read the chat too. Jennifer Bradford says, this interview gets odder. You know what we'll do? We're just going to finish out this interview, and then I'm going to have to hit the hay because I've got to get up in a few hours. But yeah, so I'm just going to continue down the road with this interview. May as well, right? Yeah.
Great job, Sammy. So I'm trying to think, what else can you tell us that can help? Anything specific about that car? Is there anything like, I don't know, maybe did the car? Oh, okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So a lot of us just remember today because, again, we weren't ever really looking severely at her vehicle when we were just friends with her. But we do all remember that she has a sticker of a bull. We don't have the exact sticker, but it's a sticker of a bull that is right under the windshield wiper. Right under that is where the back windshield, the animal. It's a sticker of a bull, the animal, like a cow with horns.
Okay.
Right under the back windshield wiper. It's right under that, and her car does have hubcaps, because in a lot of these pictures, cars don't have hubcaps. Her car has Honda hubcaps.
Okay. Wow. So look for that car that has it may have a bull sticker, a sticker of a bull on the back window, that 2013 Honda CR-V. It's a silver car.
And there's a sunroof as well.
And it has a sunroof. Okay, that's another good detail. So it has a sunroof and it has a bull sticker. There's a sticker of a bull, the animal, a bull, on the underneath the back wiper, the rear wiper, the rear.
Yes, right underneath it.
Okay. Jane Darby's wanting to ask you, anyone that you noticed hanging around her? Was there anybody was hanging around her? Did you notice anybody around her?
To be fully honest, I was inebriated at the time, so I wasn't
I get
fully attentive of who exactly was around us. We, again, when we were going around together, we were just in a lot of different huge groups of people we had never met, because her and I are similar in the sense that we're both very social. We'll talk to anybody we meet. We love meeting people, and so that's what we were doing and everything.
You girls are amazing. I'm just impressed, but it's so sad that this has happened. I just man, my heart goes out to the family. I just you know, she's a beautiful young girl. She's only I got a daughter the same age Lord, I can't imagine what they're going through. I just can't imagine. I'm just trying to think. I'm assuming that they're checking mine shafts. Maybe the car went down off the road into a ravine. I don't know. But the phone. What about the phone? Can you tell us about her cell phone? Is there anything specific you can tell us? Go ahead.
So it has we're having trouble remembering what color. Like my cell phone is a green phone, but I have an orange case on it. But we do know that her phone has a black case on it with a sticker on the very middle back that says sex wax on it. And it's an iPhone, not the Samsung that was found. It's an iPhone.
So it's an iPhone.
I forget which generation and which like number, but I can post about that or something or get in contact with you.
Okay. Real quickly, Laura Truman wants to ask you, what about pictures and social media posts? There has to be evidence this party went down. I'm sure there's people taking photos or TikToks. I'm sure there's got to be a TikTok video of the fight or something, right? There's got to be something out there.
Yeah. So there's hundreds of videos. We have videos of people taking videos.
Oh, wow.
We have
very good. Very good.
Hundreds of videos, hundreds of pictures. We've asked everybody to send us any videos and any pictures that they have, even if it's a picture that looks exactly like something else sent us. It could have different angles. We are looking at an app called Be Real, which is where a lot of kids waited because the Be Real, it's an app where you can post a picture and there's 2 minutes at random points in the day. There's only one a day. And it comes as a notification will pop up on your phone that says, you have 2 minutes left to post your Be Real. Like everybody has, you can post it later in the time, but you're supposed to post it in that time. We're looking at everybody's Be Reals because we know a lot of people waited until they were at that party to post their Be Reals. So we're looking for people to look back in their Snap memories of anybody that we can see in those videos, anybody that we can see in those Be Reals. We are looking at Instagram posts, photos taken on video cameras, photos taken on Snapchat, videos on all of these and everything.
Okay. She lived fairly close. Is this picture correct? She was about 12 miles away. The Prosser family campground was roughly about 12 miles from her house. Is that correct?
That dot is not exactly where she was located. It's a little bit more to the right and towards the little blue lake that you can see up from it. It was a little bit closer to that lake, but definitely.
So I just want to respond to this really quickly. So Lunachick, law enforcement is of course asked for and has received a lot of photos from people that were at the party, but they are not releasing it to the public. That is something that was explicitly stated.
But I also want to comment that law enforcement said after she had made that statement, we haven't received hundreds. We've received some. So they made it clear that they have received some.
Some. Gotcha. Cool. Okay.
That's about, it would have taken about 30 minutes for her. We've found out about approximately 30 minutes for her to drive that way, 38 maybe.
This is crazy. I mean, you know her being a friend. I mean, your thoughts on her running away? Would she have a reason to run away? I'm just trying to come up with anything that, I mean, it's just, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, what do you think?
To be fully honest, from what I believe about Kylie, all ideas are still open in the air, but she's not the type of girl to run away. She loves people too much and she has too much care in her heart to leave people and not leave a note or talk with one of her friends or something. And she is smart enough to know how this would get out and that people would be worried about her. And she's a smart girl. She graduated with honors early from high school and was going to attend college, and she had plans for her life and she seemed really happy.
And I'm sure she wouldn't want to put her mom through this.
No,
her mom just is destroyed.
Her mom is her life. Her mom is fully invested in her life.
I could see that. I could see she's got very loving parents, and I could tell this is hard on them. And like I said, our thoughts and our prayers are with the family. We really want the best. We want Kylie to be found. DG's asking you, I think she's in the water in the car, drove into water. Have they checked the water? I'm sure they probably have, but.
Really quick,
is there anything you can tell us about?
I just want to answer one more question from Lunachick. Asked who was fighting Kylie. So it was said in the AWP video that a fight broke out between Kylie and another girl, and they redacted the name towards the end of the party, which was part of or created all sorts of chaos that was also described. And we do not know who that other girl was or the actual severity or cause of the fight.
Have they sent dive teams in, do you know, or anything like that? Or
Yeah, so there have been dive teams sent in, and I can pretty much only say they've done thorough searches through the waters, through the lakes surrounding. They are searching the waters. They are searching the campgrounds and everywhere, related lakes that are near, because Boca and Stampede are 2 reservoirs that are near there as well. And they are doing searches through there every single day. They have been for the past 3 days. They have done extensive searches to points that you wouldn't even believe the FBI and those people they are going.
I'm impressed with what I've seen. I've seen some of the photos of the the search and rescue crews out there, the volunteers, and no, I'd seen they got a heavy presence. They're working it. They're definitely working it.
And we're so thankful to them.
Oh yeah, they're definitely working hard to try to find her, and we watch the flight patterns. They got a helicopter. I don't know. Can you comment on the helicopter? Is there something? Is there a reason they're flying in that area?
Yeah.
I don't know. What's going on? Go ahead.
Yeah, so they're flying helicopters around those areas because if they're shining spotlights down to see if there's any reflection, to find her car, to see if they see anybody. We're taught here in Truckee that during the winter, in case there's an avalanche or you're trapped out in the winter, that you can shine a reflective light, like using your phone screen and shining it towards the sun to say an SOS, or to let helicopters and airplanes know that you are out there, and to signal somebody from the ground if you're able to. That's something we're taught from a very young age in our school system.
That'll be very interesting. That's very good.
Yeah.
I never knew that. That's very interesting. You taught me something.
Can I
live in
make
the
a
desert.
statement
We don't
real
worry
quick?
about snow.
Go ahead.
So you remember earlier when I said people in that area know things, they see things.
Right.
That's what she's talking about. So they're taught this, and that means law enforcement, their search parties, they all know what to look for a car that went off the road.
Yeah, exactly. No,
so for them to do the thorough search that even people have seen and watched, including this man, that tells you they look there thoroughly and the car wasn't there. Remember when I said earlier that it could have been dumped later?
Yeah. I don't have my head around that yet, but I mean, it's possible. I mean, to me, anything's possible in this one until we know more. Jeez.
Yeah, definitely.
But no, I know where you're at. I've been there a bunch of times, and I know they get a ton of snow up there. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
But no, that makes perfect sense. But so they're flying around looking, so the car's nowhere in the area. She's got to be out there somewhere. Can you share your honest thoughts or opinion as to what you think may have happened to her? Do you care to share that?
To be fully honest, my biggest concern is that somebody, and I've said this in other interviews, somebody knew she was drunk, offered to give her a ride home, and they didn't give her a ride home. And they could be across the world at this point with how long she's been gone. And I'm worried that I have a feeling, and obviously, I don't know. I have a feeling that she is still alive and she's still out there and she's still fighting, but that there's somebody else involved, and that's not confirmed. That's just what I believe. I think there has to be somebody else involved in this. But
it's just so sad. Rhonda's wanting to ask you, did she wear an Apple Watch? Do you know? Did she wear an Apple Watch?
No, I don't believe so. I don't remember ever seeing her wear one. It's not something I pay really close attention to. And we're not the type to be like, oh, look at what I have on my wrist. I'm so rich, so.
Yeah, I know you girls are amazing. You seem like wonderful people, and I'm so sorry that you're going through this. Romans 125:26 wants to know: was there any cameras at the campground going into the campground? Is there any cameras there?
No, there's no cameras out there. The closest cameras would be the traffic cameras that start on I-80 near the rec center. It's hard to describe exactly where, but I think it's on Truckee Way. But it's 89 is very covered in cameras. There's not a lot of cameras out there.
Shani Jones wants to ask you, on your last call, did she let you know who the quote unquote friend was that was driving her home?
Yeah, so this is a common misconception. She was not being driven home and she was not driving. So, okay. At the end of the party, when I saw her, she was supposed to give me a ride home because I had asked her to give me a ride home because I wanted to stay later. I then realized later in the party that I believe she was drunk, and I knew she was drunk, and so I did not want her to be driving me home, because I know about drunk drivers and all that, and so
Smart.
and I figured she would be staying there or she would find a ride home because she's a smart girl. She's smart enough to know, she's smart, and so then. I found her as I was leaving the party. I was making sure to find her to tell her that I had another ride home and that I loved her and I wanted to say bye and for her to have fun at the party. And then when I left the party, we were pretty much on 89 with my ride. And she called me as I was in the car in the passenger seat and she was like, "Hey, where are you? Do you still need a ride home?" And I was like, "No, I'm okay. Like I'm in the car right now. I'm like getting driven home now." But Kylie did not have a set ride home, and I was under the impression that she would either sleep there or find another ride home. And it was not known that anybody was going to give her a ride home. She was not, when she called me, she was not in a car. I could hear the party and many people talking in the background.
Oh, wow. So we don't really have a lot to go on then as far as where she could be. There's no nothing. So we're just going to keep following this. And it's very possible that maybe somebody did abduct her, that maybe somebody was watching her. I mean, it's just a sad possibility, but my goodness, our hearts. I don't know. Is anything else you'd like to say before we let you go? I know you're busy. I don't want to keep you tied up with us, but I greatly appreciate all your time. Sammy, you're an amazing girl. I know you got a great future ahead of you. Stay strong. What's your final words? If Sammy's out there watching this right now, just perhaps she's out there watching. If there's anything you could say to Sammy right now, what would you say to her?
It's Kylie, just by the way, but if Kylie's out there watching
I'm
this,
sorry, Kylie, I meant, I apologize.
Don't worry.
My mind's going 1,000 miles an hour. It's just, this is very emotional, but no, I'm sorry, Kylie.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's totally fine. If Kylie were out here watching this, I would just want to know we are doing everything to try and find her. We are making this go worldwide. We will find her. We will find what is happening, and we just want her home. We don't want to get anybody in trouble. We just want her home. We love her, and we would do anything to see her again. I just want to drink a boba with her again and laugh and tell the story. And when I see her, I'm going to absolutely tackle her to the ground, but I'm going to give her the most love that she's ever felt. And I hope she knows she's loved. This whole community is looking for her. The whole world at this point is looking for Kylie. Kylie, if you're out there and you can hear this, please fight. Keep fighting. Don't give up. We are coming. We are working. We will not stop working. I will stay up day and night. I have her completely. We want you home. We just want you home. And yeah.
Very, very good. Sammy, I'm so sorry that you're going through this. I'm so sorry the family's going through this. I greatly appreciate your time. You're a beautiful person. You're a beautiful friend. I know you got a bright future ahead of you. Stay strong. Keep doing what you're doing. I mean, you're getting it out there, and I'm just so impressed with you. I'm sure your parents are very proud, and they raised you right.
Shut up. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. So, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I do have one statement I want to make for everybody who's going to watch the video tomorrow, and then probably Zav Girl's short video with Jared.
What's that? Say that again.
So for all the people that are going to watch the video when it releases and then switch off to Zav Girl's short video that has Jared talking.
Perfect. Great.
There is something important that should be pointed out. So when you watch the footage of the car being pulled and you see the wheels turning backwards, Jared specifically states it's indicative to a car being in neutral. Now, another channel, he's an ex-mechanic, retired. He actually worked on those vehicles in the past, and he explained that it had a special setup within those vehicles so that you have free wheel turn if you're in any gear except for park.
Okay.
So that's just to keep in mind, because a lot of people start watching the video and they're like, oh no, look, the wheels are turning, it's in neutral. It's, according to the mechanic and a bunch of other mechanics, it's like 50-50.
Okay.
50% of them say it has some sort of middle ball steering, so that the all-wheel drive will allow the wheels to roll backwards and forwards no matter what, unless it's in park. So when you see it and Jared says it's indicative of being in neutral, take that with a grain of salt, because mechanics are coming forward and saying, no, that's not true.
All right, I got you. So all right, so to everyone, take that with a grain of salt. Jared says it's indicative of being neutral, but maybe not. We don't know. He might be wrong, because everyone's wrong.
Don't forget, Jared's just a diver. He's not a mechanic. Doug, who is a tow truck operator in the past, he would say the same thing. It's indicative of being in a neutral. However, he also admits he didn't look at the stick. Nobody did. So all the rumors running around right now about the car being in neutral, car was in neutral, take it with a grain of salt.
Okay. All right. Got it. Okay. Very good. Very good. Let's see. Keep fighting, Kylie. What? Well, I think, yeah. I mean, Jennifer says, just picking up on how Sammy said, keep fighting, Kylie. And she's like, what? So, are you thinking, does that mean she knows she's in danger? I mean, I think the other way to look at it that's less nefarious would be that, she doesn't want to think that she's gone. So she's thinking, is she still alive? She's still out there. So Kylie, if you can see this, friend, keep fighting, I don't know.
Well, the first week that all this was going on, this is what occurred. I think it was a day after it first happened. And I said, okay, so there's no evidence of a car crashing into the forest. They searched the land. They have helicopters up, which they did, I think, the second day. And they're not seeing her car in the immediate vicinity. That is evidence that points to somebody took her. So that's where all these rumors started. The police said it. The Placer County Sheriff said it multiple times. She could have been taken. They said it for the first week. And of course, Sammy was saying it too, because logically, your evidence is if you don't see skid marks or tire tracks leading into the water, well, there's nothing in the water, but they went in and searched anyway. Because if it drifted. The first whole week, the verbal salad was it could be foul play. Somebody could have taken her. So keep your eye out for this vehicle because it's missing, as well as the girl.
Okay. Huh. Okay. All right. Yeah, that makes sense.
And I think this interview was almost a full week after, maybe 4 days, 4 to 7 days. So for her to say, keep fighting, she might have thought somebody took her from the party.
Yeah, I think this was 4 days after. I'm pretty sure. I think something like that. Yeah. Hi, Aaron. On side caution. How are you doing? Welcome, sweetie. 600,000 people go missing in the United States approximately each year. Crosshatch. You want that statistic? There you go. Okay. So
that statistic is not fully accurate. David Paulides has he worked with the FBI. So within the course of a year, let's say that you ran away from home, you're 15, and they find you the next day. Well, you were already reported as a runaway. They don't remove it from the database.
Okay,
then you run away a week later.
That's the same thing with all statistics, really.
Right.
I mean, statistics have a margin of error where you add you add to the statistic on one end, and then you detract from the statistic on the opposite side. So, I think that's like the nature of statistics, but that's a good point. That is.
But they don't, because the math behind it would mean within 10 years, almost all the United States would be missing.
Oh.
When you start logically thinking about 1 million people every 2 years, think about how fast the population would deteriorate. So when a missing person is reported, it doesn't get removed for that year. It just stays in the database, even if you were reported.
Mean that person's missing forever.
Well, no, that person could be a runaway who did it 10 times in a year.
Right,
so
right.
They have
so
10 to that 600,000.
Right, exactly. Right. So I don't know what the number is, but that's a statistic that, most people work with. So I guess it's really not determinable. So, because when you're dealing with like such a, a large population of it, like geographical and other all kinds of ranges. You know, all we can do is approximation, I guess, with statistics. So so crosshatch, would you say, says, well, even say half, where do people go? Even 10%. Okay, so if it's even 10% of that number, 60,000, where do those 60,000 people go? I don't know. I think some of them, you know, aren't missing forever. I think some of them, you know, were kidnapped. I think some of them left on their own volition. I think some of them were misreported. I think some of them, you know, I don't know, are, you know, hoarders and boarded up in their own home.
Well,
all kinds of crazy things.
We did have that New York Giants Super Bowl where the FBI had a sting operation for all those missing. They found a whole bunch of missing people.
Uh-huh.
They also had Operation Cross Country, which is why Kylie became a big deal.
Yeah.
Because Operation Cross Country just came out and they rescued traffickers.
Right. That's true. That's very true.
But
Oh yeah,
are
they go into trafficking. Yeah, that's right. There's so many different things. There's so many different reasons and things that a person's fate might become if they do go missing, you know, and most of them just are really not pretty. So,
a lot of them go voluntarily too. In Florida, they have this big area of a campground where homeless people go because they became addicts and street workers and stuff like that. And a lot of them are considered missing persons because they haven't been seen.
Exactly.
But we do have our true crime bunch where we have a bunch of people that go missing.
That's right. That's true. And, you know, in the United States, basically, if you don't fill out tax forms, you're considered missing.
Right. Yep.
So, all right, guys, I got to get going because I got to wake up in a few hours to go to work. But it was great. Thank you so much, Scott. Thank you so much for all the information and your insight and your knowledge of this case. It was absolutely freaking wonderful. I really very, very much appreciate it.
I thank you for allowing me to come on.
Yeah.
Message you my email so that if you need to reach out to me.
Yes, please do. So mine's just Watsy Obsession. What? No, not the. There's no the in it. It's just like there's no in Adventures with Purpose. There's no the in full circle. So yeah, please do send me an email and please do watch the last live stream. And whenever you get a chance, also watch. There's a video I put it out about 2 months ago. It's just called the Nicole Kessinger documentary. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
I'm going to watch all of it because this is a big case in my book.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, big stuff.
All right, guys. Thank you very much.
All right,
for
take care.
Me
Thank you so much.
Have a good night.
It's great. It was great to hear what you had to say. Good night. Aw, he was great. Wow, what a gift. He knew so much more than me about the case. He really had a lot to contribute. That was awesome. So before we go, I'm just going to go ahead and play that preview from AWP one last time. It's only the 2-minute preview. The 47-minute video, guys, it was, you just have to watch it. Watch it if you haven't seen it yet. Put aside 47 minutes so you can really focus and like feel the energy of the video. It's extremely powerful. And I can't wait to hear what everyone thinks. So I'm going to just play that little preview. Very well done video. Excellent editing. All of the accoutrements. All right. Here it's going to be. Which one is that? It's this one. Oh, man. I want to go to work tomorrow.
Her 16-year-old daughter.
Yeah, tomorrow marks 2 weeks since the Truckee teenager disappeared after attending a party at a campground.
She was either hungover or just had a really rough day. She looked distressed.
When do you think that this took place? Parked his van right here, facing that direction. Her vehicle was parked right over here. I have set a radius of 10 miles around Prosser Creek Reservoir. We're going to work hard to clear Stampede, Independence, Boca, and Prosser Creek, all within that 10-mile range. I've just located in the corner of this cove here a target that I cannot identify. 18 different agencies, over 19,000 man-hours have been put into this. I'm a firm believer in second chances. However, some things don't deserve forgiveness. Taking the life of a 16-year-old deserves zero forgiveness.
You see that?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense though. It's only 10 feet of water. We definitely have something man-made. If this is her, you know, this means all hope is lost as far as her still being out there, her being found safe.
What would you want to say to Kiely tonight?
I love her so much. So many people love you. And we're all looking and we're trying so hard. And I'm so sorry we haven't found you yet, but we're not giving up and just hang in there, sweetie. Just find you soon. Bring you home.
I don't want to find her. I want to be able to clear all this water and be able to tell the family she's not here. She's not here. Our job is to be here to find the where.
Confirm. I see the vehicle and the license plate. We have just found Kylie's vehicle. Over.
Yeah, so guys, that video, if you haven't seen it, it's not released yet. It's 1:15 here where I am in New York.
Steve
I want
asking, so what was Sammy?
Oops, I felt, oh, Plunder, check that. Yeah, it's amazing. It's so well done and it's just so powerful. And please, I suggest everybody, if you can, support Adventures with Purpose. You know, they're doing great things that not a lot of people can or are willing to do, including law enforcement all across the country. Obviously, they've already found 24 missing people who I believe were all in water. It all required diving and the sonar technology, I believe. Yeah, he does look like Woody Harrelson, Jennifer. Oh, yeah, I know. She says every mother's worst nightmare. Oh my gosh. Good night, Crosshatch. Oops. Weird. I'm reading some of the chat here. Just if I'm quiet for a moment. So, Patty, you're asking, is there a link on this page? Do you mean to the video? I couldn't provide that link yet because they have not yet put out the video that is not members only. So if I gave you the members only link, it would only take you to the members only video. If you're asking for something different, please let me know and I'll provide it if I can. Yeah, Scott was great on panel, Kevin, just like you. Oh, that's interesting. Kevin was adding to our discussion on the statistics of how many people go missing in the United States every year. My offering the commonly quoted statistic of 600,000 was shut down by my guest Scott, which is cool because it's the point. But Kevin says 90% of those missing are found, from what I heard. It's probably right. Sounds about right. I mean, it sounds about right. Like, possibly, yeah. Okay, guys. So very good. All right. So I'm going to get going. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you, moderators. Thank you, Uddernutter, for being here throughout. Thank you, Jennifer Bradford. Who did I miss? And I'm going to be doing a Watts live stream. I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow, Saturday, or Sunday, to be honest. I kind of have to see how my schedule is and what my energy level is.
I wasn't planning on doing this live stream tonight, so I was going to do the watch stream tomorrow night, Friday night. But it's her birthday and the video coming out. Kylie's birthday, I'm speaking of, or it was yesterday on September 1st. So yeah. Yeah, he was great. Yeah, thanks, Kevin. He was great. Yeah, I'm very grateful that he was here. So, all right, guys. All right, take care. Be safe. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate all of you guys. And I really hope to see you either tomorrow or Saturday. I think it'll be tomorrow or Saturday or Sunday night whenever I end up doing that live stream. I'm sorry, I don't know when it'll be yet, but definitely click the bell for notifications. Hit all notifications from this channel to make sure you got your best shot at actually getting a notification, because we all know how good a certain social media platform is on actually delivering notifications. All right, everyone, take care.